The time is now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV with myself, the Geordie Yam Yam, the Mighty Win, and we've got, of course, Boki with us tonight. I'm going to start the show off tonight with a little bit of somber mood, if you like, and it's a shame to even contemplate that. But I have to give our heartfelt condolences to the family of the poor gentleman that passed away last night post the game. Apparently, he was being worked on for some time post the match against Benfica, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. So, from myself and the rest of the team at NUFC Talk TV, my heartfelt condolences go to one and all that knew the gentleman. Right then, let's get on with the show. Like I say, it's one of them moments where I can honestly say it was a pleasure to be a Newcastle fan. Lots of praise, lots of high notes, if you like, from not only the fans but also from the players on the day. And what I'd like to do, and I'm going to give you loads of time because I want to include all of you guys in the chat as well as the panelists. I want you to give me 3 likes and 1 dislike. So take your time. We'll pull it up halfway through the first part of the show. And then it just gives you time. If you want to put it in the chat, you can do. We'll try and star it. But I just thought it'd be fun just to have a look at the 3 likes that you saw from yesterday's game and the 1 dislike that got you questioning where we are. So let's get into the homework and then we'll crack on with the show. So welcome to everybody that's watching across all of the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background. You do amazing work. Don't forget, people out there in viewerland, please, please, please smash that like button for us if you enjoy the show. Subscribe. It's totally free. Smash that bell button. Obviously, as we do the live shows, you'll get that 30-minute warning to say that we're going live if you do so. If you want to support us, you can become a member. There's only 1 membership now that you can go with, so there's no confusion now. That gives you access to all of our videos, past and present. If you've got a question for any of us in the panel, then try and throw a Q in front of that question. It just helps us highlight it in the chat. But it ain't guaranteed to be mentioned. We'll do our best, but if you do want to guarantee it, then you can follow the $sign, throw us a Talk TV super chat, and that will guarantee that message read out. Anybody that becomes a member during the show or any of our beautiful members that gift them will be highlighted and thanked as well. And again, if you want, you can get on board with the Prediction League. It's a £5 entry fee. You are a bit behind now, but there's plenty of time to catch up if you feel as though you would like to participate. Top 6 get a prize, 4 get cash prize, 5th and 6th get a prize to more of the value than your entry fee. So there you go. We're done.
Win got his first 5 points yesterday.
Yay! Look at you. I was close. I got the 3-1 rather than 3-0. And to be fair, they were close, not getting 1 or 2, if I'm honest with you, if it wasn't for Nicky Pope. But the words that made me laugh was, "You are too much." And no, that isn't towards Boki and his criticism of Dan Burn. That was Marino talking about Anthony Gordon. The best performance of his season by far?
Arguably the best performance ever from him, I would say.
I would say apart from England, best performance of the season.
This season, definitely.
Season, without a doubt.
Without a shadow. Yeah. It was really funny because, you read the words from Marino and you start pouring, a little bit of hindsight, because I saw him whisper in his ear when he come off the field of play, but I didn't know what he was talking to him about, And apparently them were the words that he said, and you are too much. And Paul, I mean, to be fair, I've got a little bit of a funny to share with you guys, because I felt really sorry for Dedic at the end of the day. And according to all the rumours out there, Anthony Gordon decided he thought about giving Dedic a bit of a chance in the second half, and he asked the gaffer. He said to Howe, "Listen, let's give Dedic a bit of a shout in the second half, because I'm absolutely skinning him, mate. You know." And apparently, this is the outfit that he wanted to go on with in the second half. And apparently, the gaffer turned around and said, "Listen, Anthony, let's win the game first." Guys, I don't know whether I should ask you, but on my TV, where we've usually got the video playing, it says this video is unavailable on my screen.
Right,
Have you?
And I got a message saying that the video is private, but it's up and running now. So I just refreshed YouTube, and
so we're out there anyway. I mean,
we're definitely out there, and we've got the
I've got it come up now. I've refreshed it, so I'm hoping everybody's with us now. So I was just looking.
To be honest, it came up for me, and I thought it was more Dan Burn trying to run at left back.
Oh, it was only a matter of time, I suppose. Bless you. Now, I mean, listen. We looked at Anthony Gordon last night, and again, you look at Champions League football. You've got to start looking at the Premier League now of how vast the Premier League is in comparison to a lot of European football. You certainly don't get the time and space that Anthony Gordon was allowed last night against Dedic in the Premier League. And it doesn't matter who you're facing.
And therein lies the problem. With the exception of, I would say, if you take the Premier League clubs out of that Champions League, you'll be lucky if there's 6 or 7. I think 7's probably pushing it, that would make a fist of the Premier League. It's different standards, and people say this is rubbish. Da-di-da-di-da. I'm telling you now. Look what Arsenal did with Atletico yesterday. It's just different cocoa, and this is why when people expect us automatically to get 3 points against the mid-table teams, your Fulhams, your Brentfords, your Palaces, your Brightons, your Bournemouths, they're all good teams. And by the way, they would all do as well as we are doing in the Champions League. By and large, I would suggest that they're all good enough to beat Bilbao, to beat USG the way we have. Mm. And then when you see PSV, we beat USG 3-0. They beat PSV 3-1. And yet last night, PSV won 6-2.
Yeah.
In the Champions League. It doesn't. It's not rocket science to say that the Premier League is, albeit, you've got your outliers, your PSGs, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, your Bayerns. But once you take those out, the rest of them, PSV beat Napoli 6-2, man. How way?
I know. It was crazy, wasn't it?
USG beat them 3-1 on their own patch.
Yeah. I mean, listen, sometimes you've got to have the rub of the green. I mean, you look at last night for me.
You've probably got, out with those 4, you've maybe got the 2 Milans on a year-by-year basis. One of them will be good, one of them will be rubbish, etc., etc. So you've got the 2 Milans in Juve in Italy, and then you've got probably Dortmund, you could argue, are quality, and I think after Dortmund, you're struggling really in Germany. But again, the second band in Germany is a much higher second band than what the second band is in Italy, Spain, France, whatever.
But Wayne, can I just pick you up on that point, which is really well made, and I agree with you. But you guys we're using these games as a barometer for how Newcastle are playing. So we're seeing sort of the cup competitions we're doing really well in, and this could be a springboard. But as you say, any Premier League team probably would look good in this format of Champions League.
And well, I absolutely agree with that. I say, do not get carried away with that performance.
So really, we shouldn't take the Champions League games into consideration when we're considering what the season's going like so far.
Yeah, but my point of the question was the fact that, you know, if it wasn't for Popey and if it wasn't for the post, Newcastle could have been 2 down, you know. And that is, like I said, you have to have the rub of the green. You have to have a little bit of lady luck going for you on the night. Now, for me, I asked the question last week, and I'm going to ask it again this week. Is Eddie Howe's performance, or is his aim this season to be contenders, to go as far as we possibly can in the Champions League? Because, and the reasons why I asked that, you look at performance levels. Now, this is literally after 3 games, so we can't get carried away. 2 wins and a loss to a very good team. And on the night, if we had the rub of the green on the night, would have been and should have been so much different, because we didn't have a striker. We played Anthony Gordon through the middle. So we were tethered to a degree in our first few games. So the way I look at it now is lots of players are stepping up in Champions League compared to the levels of performance in the Premier League. So has it shifted? Has the mindset shifted to be doing the Champions League rather than the Premier League?
No, I just think it's the caliber of the opposition.
Okay, so
I do agree that everybody played better yesterday than they did on Saturday, but that's because the opposition allowed them to play better.
Yeah, I wouldn't say allowed, because you know,
well, not allowed, but you know what I mean. They weren't.
We didn't start off
proficient to prevent them.
Yeah, we didn't start off on fire. If I'm honest with you, that was the first thing that got me. It was very cautious. It felt nervous when we were commentating on the game. Even though you probably felt it.
2 goals in the first 5 minutes before they got there.
Could have. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's the rub of the green, isn't it? And I think that's why I thought it was getting nervous, because after 10 minutes, that press had gone to a degree.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Their first chance definitely shut the crowd up, because it was it was fabulous for the first 5 minutes, and then when they had their first chance on about 8 minutes, I think it was, that was when the crowd suddenly subdued massively and didn't really pick up full steam again until the second goal.
Yeah. Foxy's put a good shout in here. Look, you know, the one thing that gets me though is that mentality. You know, when you look at the teams going in and you look at some of these. I mean, Chelsea lost to Bayern. I mean, you know, it's pretty close that one, isn't it?
I gave you Bayern.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Galatasaray beating Liverpool. And Spursy struggling against Bodo Glimt. I mean, you know, I've got the Monaco Tottenham game on because obviously they're one of our rivals and a team that we're going to be playing very soon. So I wanted to see how they play in the Champions League compared to what I've seen in the Premier League. And to a degree, I do understand what Foxy's saying, but I always think that players and a lot of teams, and we've been guilty of this in the past, we've been guilty of turning up thinking that we've won before we've kicked a ball. And when you've got a lesser opponent against you, and this happens in the European competitions as well, everybody's guilty of that at times.
I agree.
I think
Absolutely
part of the
agree.
problem is the setup of the Champions League as well. I don't like this new setup.
You see, I love it.
Oh,
I
The league?
absolutely love it.
I struggle to keep up with what's actually happening.
Oh,
Yeah, I like the fact that you used to have little leagues and you knew exactly what was going on. You could monitor and you knew what you needed to do. Whereas at the minute, it just seems to be all over the place. And I think,
you can end up in a group of death.
yeah, and I think there's too many teams in it as well as the other problem. It needs to be compact down a little bit more again, and just the best teams are in there because it's not if to me the games that we've been playing aren't the elite games that we've always had in the past. Yes, there was always there was always the minnow teams in there from is the group pot 4 as it used to be, but there was never this sort of now you're looking at some of these teams and you're just thinking this isn't the elite competition it was.
Yeah, you're only ever going to get 2 games against those minnows that you're talking about, though. The rest, your pot 3s and pot 2s and top pots are the same ones that are there now.
But it used to only be the 4, didn't it? You always had three bigger teams in the group and one, as you say, a minnow. Whereas now with this league, it just seems that you see
it is luck.
It's
very much luck.
The difference is now that there used to be 3 phases, if you like. There was the qualifying stages, where Rangers and Celtic used to play, to get them through to be the 4th pot in the second leg, with the second stage of the competition, which is where we joined 2 seasons ago. We didn't have to pre-qualify to get into that, but we were in the bottom pot, and hence, you're getting much better teams. But you're right in terms of not getting the stellar matchups as much. Although, again, even with this system we've got Real Madrid playing Juve today. You had Barcelona, PSG. Because the top group all have to play 2 other teams in the top group.
But do you think this new system makes it a better competition? Because I don't think it does. I think it makes it's not as exciting as it used to be. Where
it takes the jeopardy out of it, certainly. The sudden deathness. But no, well, I like it, me.
Yeah, I have enjoyed it.
I probably like
since
it because it gives us a better chance of progressing.
That was I was just going to say exactly the same.
So it is a bit self-preservation, but it's a lot easier to progress doing it this way than it is. But I think that, again, I think that's fair because I honestly don't think that we weren't in 2 seasons ago. If we'd been in any other group, I'm convinced we would have gone through.
But as I said, it feels like this new format's taken away from it being the elite competition.
Yeah, it is still the elite competition, whether you like
it is. It is money wise,
and thinking that it's going to change back anytime soon, I think is wishful thinking.
But I mean, we said though, 2 years ago, it was the group of death for us, wasn't it? And unfortunately, when you look at the 4 teams in that league, none of them deserve to be bottom of the league, if that makes any sense, because everybody on the night, with the rub of the green, had the capacity to beat each other. And I think, apart from Dortmund, I think Dortmund showed us
both our games against Dortmund were disappointing.
Yeah, we're poor. And I think it was really only Dortmund that, I would say, taught us a lesson, but it felt like we were shown a lesson. In how to keep the ball away
we're there
from
on
the
a high
areas.
after the 4-1.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then we played them twice and it just knocked the stuffing out.
Yeah. But like I said,
we got a lucky, actually, a weird draw at Milan. I mean, that game, honest to God, they showed the stats at half time on the big scoreboard there, and they'd had Nick Pope had the game of his life. They had 22 shots with 18 on target or something. And how we came away with a point from that game, I still don't know, really.
Yeah. I mean,
but we did, and then we beat PSG and we're looking really good, and then those 2 games against Dortmund just did for us.
Yeah,
And we're poor. We got what we deserved in those games.
yeah. Foxy again.
But
Has
again,
just beat me too.
we were riddled during that stage. That was when we had to play the 10 games in 30 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
With 13 players.
Just going to say, Foxy's just beat me to it again. Do you think Champions League as the title is deserved, as you don't have to win anything to be included anymore?
But you have to win it to become the champions of Europe.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's a Champions League.
Let's be pedantic, should we?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a Champions League, so you're not champions, but you're playing in the Champions League.
Well, that goes back to the day when literally only
the champions got in there,
went through. But
Yeah,
then again, it was an open draw at that time, so Man United could quite easily draw Real Madrid in the first round.
Yeah. You see, I never liked the fact that they dropped down to the European. Once they're out the champions, I didn't like that at all.
I didn't either, because but what it did do is it improved the standard of the UEFA Cup as it was then. Because you could go through all the qualifiers of that and the first 2 rounds, and then round 3 all of a sudden, Real Madrid have dropped in.
Absolutely, Barca are in there. Exactly. It's crazy. I've just seen Liverpool are losing 1-0 to Frankfurt. Crazy. It's still 0-0 there, Monaco and Tottenham that I'm looking at. Nothing to shout home about, if I'm honest with you, as we speak. But it was an interesting one, because I didn't realise, going back to Anthony Gordon and his story, that Mourinho was his favourite manager when he was a kid. Growing up, and he says, these are his words, it's quite weird because he was quite a defensive manager, but I just love the way even then the bench was getting up. He really creates a team environment. It's like us against the world. I recognise that from my own game, so it's a big compliment. It means an awful lot. Even if I didn't idolise him, a compliment from any coach at this level means a lot. That has got to give him a massive boost going into the next game. You think about your idol going and having those words in your ear, giving you a hug and saying well done. That has got to be a massive pat on the back.
Do you think Mourinho was he was defensively minded? He always has been. But you think he was a defensive coach when he was at Chelsea the first time? Because, I mean, if I was Anthony Gordon watching that as a young lad, having Robin one side and Cole the other side, bombing down the wings, Frank Lampard in the middle. What was the other lad's name that started with an E? It'll come to us, but also Drogba.
Emerson.
Who? Sorry,
Emerson.
No, he was. No, it wasn't Belanga. It'll come to us, but
I know who you mean.
I know exactly.
He was the best. He was one of the best central midfielders there's ever been, man. Yep. Before Conte replaced him. He went to Real Madrid.
He's definitely started with an E, and someone will put it in the chat, I'm sure. But in regards to that, Drogba up front, I think that's that sort of was the way that football developed. So I think that's kind of developed into what we now call Pep Ball.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think with Chelsea back in the day, it was keep ball,
Essien.
And because Essien, and because they had the players to break on the wings, they had some quality within that side back in the day. I mean, it was pure quality, and it was great to see in the Premier League, if I'm honest with you. And I think that's what they used to frustrate the life out of opposition. That's what Chelsea did, and I think that's why he gets that mantra of being a defensive-minded coach, because he kept it tight, he kept the ball, he kept possession, and then hit you bloody hard on the break. But you've got to have the players, you've got to have the quality to do that. And as much as I I'm not 100% sure whether Newcastle could ever imitate that with the players that we've got. I'd be edge of my seat, literally squeaky bum time, if we decided to try and keep the ball, knocking it back to Popey. I mean, we saw it yesterday, knock the ball back to Popey. Oh, let's kick it out. just kick it out. Go anywhere. But and that must be. And again, you talk about Dan Burn left back. And I was listening to you guys while I was doing a bit of research before the show. Talking about the out ball, when we did the pendulum football, if you like, left, right, into Botman, it always goes down to the left-hand side. And on Burns' own admission, he has come out and said that, he's not the world's best passer of the ball. Why should I take the chance? And I think that is the word that he said, when there's players on the field of play in front of me that are way better at it than I am. So, we have to take a step back a little bit there, because the way we play and transition from defence to forward line has to be adaptable. It has to change with personnel on the field. Now, the one thing that I absolutely loved yesterday, and I really missed it during the live commentary with me and Chris, but I loved the way Bruno and Miley worked in tandem. And for anybody that hasn't watched it, go and have a look. You've got, you always had virtually two players on Bruno, right? Now, it was quite obvious that Marino had, do you want to do that one, buddy?
Yes, Warren. Oh, great Jesus! Keep your hair on. Save it for quiz. I don't know what Chris is putting.
Chris
in the
has put
chat.
something in the chat. Yeah.
No, he's put Essien in. It's not. I'm thinking Makaleli. Claude
yeah.
Makaleli.
Another one.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Makaleli was better. They were saying
better than Essien, definitely.
Oh, I thought Essien was a brilliant player.
Well, I mean, Essien was.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but he wasn't as good as Claude Makaleli or Cantey.
Well, Cantey was just a head and shoulders above quite a few, wasn't he, in his day? And I look at the way Bruno had these two players on him virtually the entire game, led them a bit of a merry dance at the best of times, but it was the way Miley and Bruno moved. So there was a part during the game. I hope I can find it before the end of the show, and I'll show you. Bruno is facing his own goal. There's a bit of again, keep ball between the back line. Bruno, I think it was Pope to Chow. Chow then throws it into Botman. Botman's in the middle. You've got a three, because you've got Burn on the left-hand side of him. Trippier's gone a bit further up the field on the right-hand side. So there's Chow, Botman in the middle, and Burn. Bruno then turns and he drags these two players towards the defenders. And you're thinking, where are you going? You know what I mean? It was a bit strange. But what he does then, with him being tightly marked, was he gets the ball fed at him with a little bit of pace from Botman. And he takes a touch out of his feet. And straight away, what you get from Miley is that little pivot. And Miley goes in front of him in the centre circle. And he splits three players. So one player then is marked by three players, if you like, which is Bruno. He plays a simple 10-yard pass through the middle of them, because Miley has made that little transition forward into the hole. Miley then literally turns his body and he's got literally 30 yards of space just by moving 10 yards. And I thought these little passages of play between Miley and Bruno yesterday was super. I mean, I would like to know, and I'm going to ask you gentlemen first, do you keep Miley in the side the weekend? And in the chat, I want you to put either Ramsey or Miley, because somebody's going to lose their position for Tonali. Who do you think will be still in the squad? So Ramsey or Miley, or whichever way you want to do it, JR or LM, whatever. Who do you guys think?
Miley for me keeps his place. I thought Ramsey was one of one of the weak links in the side last night.
I wasn't enamored by Ramsey.
I mean, he should have scored inside a minute or minute and a
Ramsey?
half, whatever it was. Yeah.
But he didn't get the ball.
Well, no, he didn't get the ball exactly, and he should have done.
Well, he shouldn't, because the ball wasn't played to him in the right manner. If he'd got another yard of pace on the ball from Murphy, then I agree with you.
Well, I would argue if he'd used his yard of pace to go towards the ball instead of waiting for the ball to come to him, he would have got to it, and the defender would have had to bring him down for a penalty, or the defender wouldn't have got the ball. I thought his movement to the ball was all wrong.
Yeah, but if you look at Gordon, very similar setup. Yeah, Gordon's just looking for the square ball, isn't he? Same as Ramsey, you're just looking for the square ball. But if the ball doesn't come with the correct pace, then as a striker in a striking situation, you're never going to get yourself. You certainly wouldn't want to put yourself towards the defender unless you know that there was no chance of getting that ball back. So
well, the incident I'm talking about, I'm sure you know the incident I'm on about. What Voldemort does, because you could argue Voldemort should have been there for it, but what Voldemort does, he gets into the box and he sees Ramsey in front of him, so he gets himself in a bit of space so that if Murphy wants to cut it back over, he's going to be there to put it in.
Is the problem with the question
because when they're both moving towards the box, as Murphy's going up the wing with the ball, Ramsey's got more pace than Voldemort, which doesn't say a lot, because that's one thing he's not blessed with, infinite pace to burn. And Ramsey makes the run. I'm not saying he makes the run. He gets in the box, but he just then waits for the ball to come to him instead of him going towards the ball. And if he goes towards that ball and puts his foot out, that's a goal.
But I'm saying it's half the question, not that the problem with the question is that is Mailey not more of a cover for Tonali?
Yeah,
they probably play in the same position. So if Tonali's fit, I don't think there would be any of that would sit and argue that Mailey starts over him. I think the question is who starts, either J7 or Ramsey in that position. And to be honest, I think I'd rather Ramsey.
Well, I don't know about that, but what I do know is, even though Mailey hasn't got the recovery pace that Tonali's got, exactly as Gary's just outlined, the understanding between Bruno and Mailey as to who should go and who should stay means that Mailey can stay more in the hole, and that then, and this is what I would prefer, to get more out of Tonali going forward, because I don't think we've seen anywhere near the best of Tonali as an attacking midfielder as opposed to a DM.
So where does Tonali start?
He plays exactly the same position he plays for Italy, which is left side of midfield.
Yeah.
Left centre.
I think,
which is J7's.
I would
I know he wouldn't do it. I've been calling for it for a long time.
That position for us.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, listen. I'm not saying Ramsey had a bad game. I thought he did well, considering he's probably nowhere near 100% fit yet.
Well, and again, the other thing about that particular situation that we've just been talking about is that they don't 100% know each other's games yet.
No. I mean, his recovery yesterday I thought was superb, because he run from left centre to right to the right corner of the penalty box to help us out yesterday on a recovery run, Jacob Ramsey. And we mentioned it during the live commentary because, it's something that's easily forgotten, because I thought it was Murphy at first, because I couldn't see the number. And, obviously with Chris's screen, it's not always a clear screen. So I'm looking at it thinking, because Chris was just in front of me on my screen, and I had to glance to the right of me just to confirm who it was. And it was Ramsey. And Ramsey had literally run on the diagonal, on the defensive, to cover, unfortunately, the two plodders, which is Miley and Bruno. So you always need a Tonali, a Ramsey in your side because you have got that, recovery pace then. But I'm in with Win. I just find we are losing a lot of Tonali's ability, playing him as the six. And again, I've watched game after game after game now, 2 or 3 times, just to confirm we don't play with a six. We don't play with a static six anyway. We played with a fluid six. So it's always on the transition.
2-1 to Liverpool now.
Yeah, 2-1 Liverpool.
If you
And
remember,
that's what I said. Yeah.
if you remember a couple of seasons ago, Howe was very much so we don't play with a number 6 at all.
At all, yeah.
But he
Exactly.
was very much so sort of you play with.
And against Brighton, we didn't.
Yeah. Well, we haven't been playing with a number 3 for about 3 or 4
Oh,
weeks.
here we go.
Here we go.
Here we
we go.
Oh, I love it. It's only a matter of time.
Fired. Shots fired.
Across the bow, sir. Across the bow. Interesting one for Anthony Gordon because he's on the same number as a lot of the big guns out there in the Champions League with 4. I mean, he's up and amongst the.
By the way, it's Ekitike that scored, not the right.
Woo! Ekitike, yeah, they've dropped Salah, haven't they, for Ekitike?
Yeah, against his old club.
His old club, yeah. So you've got who I've just had it down and I've lost the blooming thing now. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Erling Haaland, and there's only Kylian Mbappe got more goals than Anthony Gordon at the minute. So he's in good company. Like I say, it was a day. How can I put it? News comes thick and fast, but not always good news. Listening to you guys at lunchtime, breaking the news that Tonali secretly had gifted us another 12 months under the vision
Potentially
of
24.
Well, yeah, but the club have that right, don't they? It's not the players' right; it's the club's right. So it is 2 years, really, if they want to. But I think that. Oh, you want to do this one, buddy?
Yeah. It's Warren saying, "Why do you think we're looking at Manu?"
Don't know.
No,
because there's a lot better out there.
I'm inclined to agree. To me, Manu hasn't got a tackle in him.
No,
he can be exciting going forward without a doubt, but far more of a Bruno than a J7. I don't think I've ever seen Manu break up play or tackle or anything. He wants the ball to do his magic and get forward.
Do you not think rather than having a defensive midfielder, though, we need somebody who can score goals?
Yeah,
well, that's exactly what Warren's saying there, and that's why we're looking at Manu, because we're looking for a far more progressive, which would then allow Tonali to stick in the DM role, and I just think you're wasting so much of his talent by confining him to that cage, as it were.
I am not 100% sure that these rumours that Manu is on the cards are correct, because of all the places that I look, Manu isn't one of them that gets mentioned, if I'm honest with you. And I've just said that, and it's the always the shortlisted centre midfields: Calby Manu, Elliot Anderson, Loftus-Cheek, and Camavinga are the 4 shortlisted for midfield, according to the rumours that I've got. But Elliot Anderson has also been linked with Man United, Man City, and now Chelsea are also interested in Elliot Anderson's signature. So it is going to be an interesting one. Iliman Ndiaye from Everton is also on the cards, if you like. And again, it's just reconfirming Sandro Tonali's extension. And this is one for Chris, because I'm sure he's out there. Red Devils, Newcastle, Tottenham are showing a very strong interest in Jean-Philippe Mateta. And they have scouts watching a couple of games this season. and reported back to Newcastle good things. And according to Estadio Deportivo, Vlachodimos, who has a contract at Newcastle until 28, has told them he will not return to England under any circumstances, as he doesn't like living in England. And he wants a possible permanent move to Spain, and he's willing to do and contribute as much as he can for his contract to be, I suppose, terminated. Yeah.
Sadly, his contract is not really the problem.
No, it isn't.
It's what he stands us on the books still.
On the books, yeah, because like I say, Seville are only wanting to pay €5 million, as we said before. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Warren Dinnan's back in again. He said, "No, I meant we're looking, as an example, Anderson. But Anderson to me is a completely different player to Manu.
To Manu, yeah.
But lads, we've signed Voltemada and we've signed Wissa, who I think we're both seeing different types of player, and when they both fit, potentially we're going to change our style of play.
Yeah.
So do we need another central midfielder is the question.
Yeah.
So when that happens, are we playing the diamond? To be fair, then we've got plenty of midfielders. Just at the minute, because we're playing three.
But you wouldn't play Voltemada in the diamond, wouldn't you?
No, but I'm saying if you're playing Voltemada, if you're playing Voltemada and Wissa, then you only need two midfielders in there.
But then you need a striker, then, don't you?
Well, what
because
you're
covering.
I would have Voltemada as the point of the diamond.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking it.
And a striker in front of him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. On the bench, then, would you just be happy with Asula being on the bench as your main striker to come off the bench? Because I certainly wouldn't at the minute.
No, I wouldn't.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You then don't need to buy a midfielder. You need to buy a striker.
No, but all I'm saying, if we can get 30 million, let's say, for Asula, which is what was being bandied about in the summer.
Yeah.
And we're going to get Matete for 40, 50 million. That's the problem solved, and the problem solved bloody well.
Guys, I'll be back in a second. My little one's she takes a tumble all the time. Bear with me a second.
No problem, mate. Let's talk about what Gary was asking early on in the. Well, let's do a few super chats first. A few starred chats. See what we've got here. We've got Connor in saying Lakes don't sit back. Lakes that we didn't sit back in the second half, and that we looked like a team, and the players stepped up. No dislike there. Tony T. Lakes, we won. Good options off the bench and taking more shots from outside the box. Dislikes. Burns' defensive line was way off compared to the other defenders. No communication. Well, I don't know how you can say that either, because, by the way, he spent more time in their half than he did in his own half.
I think that was a tactic to stop him defending, because he's absolutely a nightmare.
Win being cheeky about Bundesliga club in. Oh, Foxy, that's come back to bite you on the bum, hasn't it? Win being cheeky about Bundesliga clubs and Frankfurt beating Liverpool. Well, not any longer. And by the way, I did also say that the Bundesliga, in my opinion, was the second strongest in Europe. Yes, something I would love to change. I know Dan has a long throw, but can we not look at someone else and have him in the area for flick-ons? Well, it depends if you've got somebody who can throw the ball as well as he can. And Foxy, Terry and Carvalho was a great part. This was going back to Mourinho's so-called defensive Chelsea side, which I think we've actually agreed on something, that it wasn't that defensive when you had, the attacking options that he had, and the midfield options that he had, and then when you've got Terry and Carvalho at the back to fall back on in the event that something goes wrong, and also at the time, remember, you had Ashley Cole at left back, who's probably the best left back that's been in the Prem overall.
I was just going to say, I think that back four for Chelsea is in the top three. That
Yeah.
there's ever been Abramovich.
Yeah.
What was it? Abramovich? No. What was it? Ibrahimovic? Jesus Christ, that was a struggle. But him
Get
at
your teeth
right back, Paul at left back,
itchy.
yeah, and
Too many itches.
Cavallo and Terry in the middle. I think there's probably the Arsenal back four of the very start of the Premier League and the Man United back four when they were at the peak.
Winterburn,
Dixon and
Dixon and-
Adams and Keown.
yeah.
But I think between them and the Man United one of probably Neville, Irwin.
Between them and then of course you've got the Trippier, Shea, Botman, Byrne back four. That was a hell of a back four as well. That was the best in the league at the time.
I'm not nibbling.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I tell you what, my two likes and my two and me dislike. Me
Go
two
on,
likes were
Three
Gordon.
likes. I want 3 likes, not
Oh,
2
3
likes.
likes. Oh, well,
3
I'll give you
likes
3.
and 1 dislike. We can't say 2 dislikes because there wasn't that many dislikes.
Well, me 3 likes would be Gordon going outside instead of perpetually cutting inside and getting real results by doing so. Shots from outside the box and around the box instead of tippy-tappy. And Nick Pope for his wondrous assist. So there are me 3 likes.
Fabulous.
And my dislike is Nick Pope for his kicking. And the number of times in that first half when we put ourselves under somebody's, I don't think anybody's given Joe the message yet that you don't pass back to Nick Pope under any sort of pressure at all. And it was noticeable that after the 65-yard assist, the very next kick straight out into touch.
Crazy,
Within
wasn't
about a minute. It
Yeah,
got the
crazy.
biggest laugh of the night.
Have you got your 3, Boki, or shall I go to the chat?
No, two wins were very much mine as well for the likes. The other like was that we actually rotated the squad a little bit, which was a good thing to see.
Great, yeah.
My dislike, I'm going to try to get 2 into one answer here if I can squeeze it. Dan Byrne at left back. What an absolute joke. And Eddie Howe for playing him there. So I blame the 2 of them now.
Right, fair enough. Connor's in with likes. He didn't put a dislike, so obviously he didn't see anything that wasn't bad. Didn't sit back second half, which was a positive. Looked like a team, massive positive. Players stepped up. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't disagree with any of them. Tony T has put in likes. We won. Good option off the bench and taking more shots, as you've said, mate, from outside the box. Dislikes. Bird's defensive line was way off compared to the other defenders. No communication. I have gone on a little bit of not a different wave, more of the same. But what have I done with them now? I've just said I've got more of the same, and I can't blooming see them now. I can't remember what I put down. I think it was more the fact that I didn't like, and I'm going to start with a didn't like. I didn't like the sluggish start. Looked nervous. We looked a little bit erratic. And I think going on to the likes, I enjoyed the fact that the lads that were on the field performed, but the lads that come off the bench wanted to prove a point. And it seemed to me, I mean, you look at J7 when he come on, he had fire in his belly. He was like closing everything down. He didn't want to take any prisoners. He didn't like being on the bench for me, and I think that was a massive push because it's all about for me. 11 must work for that place, for that shirt. It should never be a gimme. And Chris made a really good point at the start of the show about not having Tonali in there because he's just getting over his bug. Was he required? Well, he wasn't. So again, that to me was it was a positive, not to be always playing your star names. Throw in somebody else that can do a job for you. And I thought he did really well in his position, to be fair, Miley.
Can I just stick this up, guys?
Yeah, go on.
There's Dan Burns' heat map for last night. So can you tell me, with that heat map there, how he could have been responsible for being out of line? And just to compare him, by the way, that was Tino Livramento's last game, and that's Tino Livramento's heat map when he was playing left back.
Because the red bits were where he was having a nap.
So
I think he's meaning vertical, not horizontal.
I'm talking about vertical as well, and so how could he possibly for him to be responsible for offside? It means he has to be further back than the rest of the defenders, thereby playing the attacker on side.
When again you're putting colours up on a screen to try to prove a point, watch the game. You could see.
I watched the game.
I
did watch the game.
You could see, especially the first half, he was out of position, so just done for pace so much.
Yeah, but I think again you've got to look. The one time that he got skinned was the ball over the top, the long diagonal that was over the top. It was always going to be on
his shoulder.
Yeah, and he misjudged that one massively. But you know what I liked afterwards, and again
as did the Bilbao defender, exactly the same scenario with Popes throughout.
But we're talking about Dan Burn, so let's not deflect from.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Bilbao's Dan Burn equivalent.
But we're not. We're talking about Dan Burn and the issues out of there with Dan Burn being at left back.
And that was 2 occasions. What about all of the occasions when he was in their side of the pitch and doing good stuff?
Doing what? Did he set any goals up? Did he score any?
He nearly scored.
Well,
not only did 22-yard volley there, lad.
He nearly scored a few, and he could quite easily have had 2 or 3 assists.
But I said
Bruno's just missed.
I said this in the chat today. I very nearly won the lottery last week. Very nearly is not an answer.
And that was a nonsense comment as well, but that's by the by.
Poor in defence. He's really poor at doing that.
You're just constantly looking for this. Yeah. Anyway, enough of Dan Burn. Enough of Dan Burn.
I think what we sometimes look at as well, though, or what we fail to see is what happened post that occurrence. And I think, everybody in Dan Burns' situation will get found out. There's times during any game you are going to be vulnerable to a ball over the top because you haven't got to recover to the pace to recover. But what I liked afterwards was the way they become narrow. They allowed Trippier to go down the right-hand side. Dan Burn stepped across into more of an orthodox left centre back. And what happened then is they dropped off. When Luca Bayo was got the ball, again, very similar to the Brighton with Minte, they wanted him to go down the line rather than come in on his favoured foot. They closed that avenue off as a group, as a 3. So I think like I say, we can knock all day long about the frailties, but what we never look at is the positive, that communication between the 3 players. After that, did he have much of a chance? You could say, he come in on his left-hand foot and he glanced the post. And like I say, that was the only 2 opportunities their fastest player had against one of our slowest. So I suppose you have got to take that little bit of a chink sometimes and say, as a group, they dealt with that situation. And I think that is something that we should highlight more, rather than the couple of times that he got beat. And like I say, the second time that hit the post, I don't think that was Dan's fault. I just think it was a quality shot. I thought from where I was, I thought it was in. It hit the top bucket, if I'm honest with you. But like I say, sometimes you need lady luck on your side. Here we go, Warren again.
Mentioning Burn, just throw a book your pork chop. I get one.
So yeah, I like I say, I thought there was quite a few goods and a few, only a couple of bads.
Neil's saying much the same thing. We know he's not a left back. Why harp on about it? The reason he's there is because the best two at the moment are playing so well as a partnership, and he can't get back in
Normal left back.
Normal left centre back, I suppose.
Yeah, I would imagine that is. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I say, it's
the proof of the pudding will be when Hall comes back and when Livramento comes back. Let's see what he does then. And if Hall and Livramento both come back and both fit and firing, they've got to play for me. They've got to play for me, and then it's up to him who he picks. Chow was automatic. I think Chow is better than Shea at the minute.
Yeah.
But I'll argue Burns' case over Botman any day of the week.
I think
can be outvoted by the blinkered.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't say Botman isn't one for the future, because he wouldn't have the likes of Liverpool vying him for a replacement for Van Dijk. So there's got to be something about the lad that is obviously exciting other coaches as well. So for me, it's not about who can play there.
Yeah, because Liverpool don't buy donkeys, do they?
Do they? Do they? No, not normal. They buy a few horses, but not donkeys. I mean, for me, you know what I love about this Newcastle defence at the minute? Depth. We are out the two, I suppose, most exciting fullbacks, England fullbacks as well now. They've both got the caps, and we're still managing. Yes, it's not excellent in the Premier League, but again, it's about understanding. It's a partnership, and we need to build that partnership all the way through. We saw Malik Chow and Botman make a mistake against Brighton, if you like, but nobody harps on about it. You know what I mean? It just seems, like I said, it doesn't matter who is in a Newcastle shirt. There has to be somebody to blame. And for me, you'll never go through a complete game without making a clanger, because you're human. If we were robots,
I always say, show me somebody who doesn't make a mistake, and I'll show you somebody who does sod all.
The slight problem is, Gary, that you say that, which is quite correct, that there is always issues around teams, but in regards to that, it's the excuses that are made when things go wrong. So people look at when you're the one that's sitting there making the negative points, they sit there and look at that. What they don't look at is when sort of things are going wrong, and people are just making excuse after excuse after excuse about things.
But why do we have to keep when it goes right, Boki? What I'm saying is, why do we always have to pick on that negative point rather than look at the positive point and how they dealt with that situation at the time?
No, to pick you up on that point, the last two cup wins we've had, I've been on here and been really positive about them. So after the Champions League game and after the Bear Carling Cup game, I was on here, I was saying, this is great. This has to be the springboard now for the season.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. But we also said, and again, I've been on here many a time and says this could be quite easily a transitional period for Newcastle because of the amount of new bodies that have come into the side, and it is difficult because you've lost your two stalwarts at fullback. Both, and to be fair, I think both of them play much better at left back, even though Tino was bought for a right back. To lose both of them for a period of time, not like we have, has thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works, because I don't think, for me, I couldn't see Lascelles getting a game this season whatsoever. When you look at the right centre-back, even though this time 12 months ago, we were screaming out for, we've only got one right centre-back. Now, it seems as though we've got multiple choices. Same as left centre-back, including Malik Chow. We've got three bodies now vying for that left centre-back, because Malik Chow can play there as well. So for me, to have a depth of play of good as we are in that back four is superb for us to go forward. Now, I know, and I'm sure
But
Dan
also
Byrne
you've
knows.
got we're on about cup wins, cup competition wins, but Bradford City, USG, and Bilbao are not Brentford, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, whatever.
But that's the exact point I'm making. When you're completely correct.
Well,
They're not them teams. But we've tried. I've
and
tried
that's
to
that.
come on.
That's
I've
that,
tried to
that,
come
no,
on after the. I've tried to come on after the cup competitions and say we use this as a springboard to beat them teams in them games, and it hasn't happened. So you're quite right. The teams that were beaten are teams that are poor, basically. That were not beaten big or better teams or even middle of the table teams at the minute.
I mean, if you'd have taken our first 3 games, and I'm taking Leeds out of the equation because I think we were very poor against Leeds. But you look at the Aston Villa game, we got a point out of it, and it should have been easily 3 points. And for me, you look at that again. It's all about small margins. We certainly wouldn't be in a situation, And you keep listening to people going on about we haven't done this, we haven't won in so many, blah blah blah, and you're like, it's all small margins. Nobody mentions the reasons why we haven't got where we are. We've spent all this money, but we spent all this money on a player that obviously hasn't even trained with the club really yet, with Wissa. And it's about, for me, Elanga was always that question mark, and I could not understand for the life of me why you'd pay that much money on Elanga. And I thought Jeff Howe made an absolutely fantastic point the other day when he said, why does it feel as though we are just getting other Premier League's cast-offs rather than going out and trying to cherry pick their, number 11 players, if you like, in the 11 squad players? And again, I suppose it all comes down to availability, and I would imagine it's Eddie's little chip on his shoulder trying to make a real good diamond out of a rough one. And he's got that ability to do so, but I also think there's a gamble there. And it's been a gamble with and I'll still say it, with Jacob Ramsey. I wasn't, he didn't blow me frock up at Villa. He's a player. He can give you something, but is he going to give you anything different that we haven't already got within the squad? Now, like I say, with a couple of tweaks here and there, probably not, because for me, I would still look at putting Tonali in what I believe is his best position as he plays for his national team at left centre midfield. And I think we are missing a trick there, because you are developing 2 players, one Brazilian, one Italian international, going forward into that 10 and creating something in and around the opposition box is enough to give, anybody fear. So have we got the right player to sit in the transition? That is the question, isn't it? So the 2 players that you automatically go to is Miley and J7. Has J7 got the technical ability and the brain to do a job in that position? I don't think he has. He's got the muscle, twofold, but he hasn't got the brain and that technical ability to put, he'd probably put us in trouble rather than out of trouble. And he certainly doesn't win his fair share of headers that he should do. Now, I saw in the in the chat earlier that Miley did miss a sitter from 6 yards out, that he should have buried. Without any shadow of a doubt, he should have buried. We put that header over the bar. But, for me, I don't look at that as a negative. I look at it as a positive, because he got himself in that position. And until you start getting yourself in that position and having a go, you're never going to really get it right, because you can get them right 9 times out of 10 in training because you haven't got the pressure on you. You have to get them 9 out of 10 right during a game, a competitive game.
But Gary, a hawk back
Warren Dinnan saying, for fairy's sake, we had no striker, and we're now having to integrate one.
Yeah, that's true.
A hawk back to what I said during the transfer window about Ramsey, though. We should have got a replacement for J7 during that window. J7 should have been put back, should have been the bench player now. And we should have paid 20-30 million pounds bit more for a better midfielder than what we did with Ramsey. And that would have settled a lot of nerves and sorted a lot of things out in the team. But what we've done is, and what a lot of people argued was, we've improved the bench. That's not what you should have done. We had the money. We should have improved the first team, and you'd naturally improve the bench by putting J7 on the bench.
Yeah,
That's always been my argument. You improve the first team, and you automatically improve the bench.
yeah, but I think it's small steps, though, guys. I think sometimes, we do seem to be treading water a little bit here. Sometimes you have to get the squad improved, and then you can start cherry picking. I think there was a lack of ability coming off the bench. That we talk about changing the way the game is going, and I'll hold my hand up and say, like a lot of people are going to say, shout back at me at the minute. Well, we haven't it hasn't changed that much this season, and you're right, it hasn't off the bench. But I don't think the mentality has been there at the minute. I don't know what it is, but there seems to be a little bit. It seems to be a little bit anti-climax at the best of times in the Premier League. We aren't firing on all cylinders.
No doubt about that. By the way, Isaac's been substituted. The rat has come off for years.
Oh my days! How poor. Has he had a shot tonight now?
Let me.
It don't matter. I'm not interested. And if I'm honest with you, I ain't interested. Let's have a look at this one. Wins all. What will go on? I'll let you do it.
Wins. Always said that Borky's 2 years behind.
Yeah, I mean, Marco 4863 is in the chat there saying that he's only played a few times and we can't judge him. He's coming off a.
No, it's just that, but Borky saying improve the first team and you automatically improve the bench. Like I say, I've been saying that for 2 years.
But you didn't over this transfer window win. You were one of the ones advocating getting that we were buying good bench players and improving the squad, not the first team. As I say, by spending a little bit extra on a midfielder, we could have improved the first team massively by getting a replacement for J7. But then
replacement for J7.
But then it also
pick a replacement for J7.
Don't shout over each other, guys, because nobody can hear you.
You also then improve the bench because J7 goes on there.
Yeah, but pick a replacement for J7, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, 20 or 30 million, as I say, 20 or 30 million pound more than Ramsey did. So 60, 70, 80 million.
Yeah, I do get the
I think
sentiment.
you'd struggle to find a better midfielder for 60, 70 million.
Than Ramsey?
No,
than J7.
No, I'm not sure about that, mate, to be fair.
I'm saying, for me, Ramsey replaced Longstaff.
But I think but this is what I said. For me, I think.
Ramsey coming off the bench for me is a massive improvement on Longstaff coming off the bench.
But you would have had J7 coming off the bench, which is more of an improvement than Ramsey.
But yeah, if you'd spent a lot more than 45 million.
Which we had the money to do.
And even then, you've got to find him.
But we had the money to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Waldo in there with Semenyo, I think Semenyo would have been a totally different kettle of fish for us. But, listen, I understand this sentiment, and I really do. And I there's a part of me that agrees. But I also understand the fact that we have to take small steps sometimes because it's numbers. It's a numbers game at the minute. And I think when you're looking at building a squad, and I'm talking over a number of bodies now, you can't buy a number of bodies for the £200 million that we spent. Was it 250 in the end we spent? You're not going to get a number of bodies of quality for £250 million because we're not going to get anything.
You got two.
Well, you're not looking. You're not looking at getting money back for the lads that moved on. That's the problem. When you're only picking up 12 and 15 million, and then you're willing to go and spend 70 and 80 million on replacements, I don't think it works.
But hang on, the argument being, again, that we're sold, we're net spends lower than most other clubs because we sold Isaac. So
correct.
You're using an argument that we haven't got the money. We did. We've got the money.
January ain't come yet.
But we had the money when we were signing Ramsey. Just don't sign a player that isn't improving the first team. If you can sign one that'll improve the first team.
But again, at the At the time, listen, the summer window was cattled for 2 reasons, really. Well, 3 if you count Eels, Mitchell, and Isaac. There's 3 massive reasons why that transfer window was a disaster. Until the last, literally, the last second, in fact, when we heard about the Wissap fiasco.
I can't wait, and like I say, there's always going to be people in the chat that disagree with whatever you say, because like it's an opinionated sport, soccer, football, whichever way you want to say it. But at the end of the day, you have to look at Win jailed for shouting at panel members. Naughty boy.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you look. Well, there's part of Bokey and part of Win. Yeah, doesn't always work, does it, Win? So I mean, like I understand. Like I said, everybody's got a favourite. Everybody's got a bit of sentiment between players. All I want to see is a midfield that functions. And as much as, like I say, you've got a stopper with J7, you've got a playmaker with Bruno, you've got Tonali, who's the workhorse. He's the grinder. He's the one that's going to give you yardage. Sometimes you need more than just one or two of you want players with multiple abilities that'll give you the out. And like I say, for me, Tonali shines more than anybody else because of his directness, his work rate, his need to get that ball back. He's effective when he's diving in at you. You don't see that from the likes of J7. And I think, like I said, I love to see that last night from J7 where he'd got that little bit of fire in his belly. There's another one coming, I think, buddy.
Yeah, I see it. I think you're both right, but it's like
Win said.
It's like Win said. Like Win's been saying for a long time.
Right then, let's have a look at some more news because I've had a little bits of news flying at me. Obviously, Claire Ditchburn, the ex-Durham ladies coach, has taken over the helm at Newcastle United for this season, and she's still going to be helped by Peter Ramage, who's going to be supporting, and I think there's a couple of the girls coaches that are going to be with her as well to support her. So Claire Ditchburn, as I say, she's been in the Super League with Man City, I believe it was, and she's had a very small. And again, I'm trying to think on the top of my head. I think it was Everton and Man City. She's been in the Super League with. So comes with a little bit of background. So well done to Claire for jumping on board with that one. Graham Bailey apparently is reporting. This has been sent to me by Connor. There is no release clause in Sandro Tonali's 120 contract, but Newcastle will still be looking to increase his wages at the earliest opportunity to ward off potential suitors. I mean, obviously, you've got there was said, he's got till 29 now with the extension of a 12 by the club. But I think it's right though for the club to be looking at throwing a few more quid in his pocket. The way he has performed for Newcastle, I don't think anybody would be opposed to that. Do you agree with?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. In fact, I was reading the Telegraph. Luke Edwards was in the Telegraph this morning. I'm just trying to find it because it did say words to the effect of bump and bonanza increase or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Donoghue published. You guys were spot on lunchtime when you come out with it. I know it was all over, but Joe Donoghue has published one about a vital contract extension, and it praise goes out to Dan Ashworth because they were talking about secrets and now the club don't communicate and everything else, and they're keeping everything very close. This was a total surprise to everybody, wasn't it? Like I said, for me,
Can you understand why it should be that the club didn't publicise that?
well, again, and I don't want to sound
If he signed it, whenever he signed it, surely
which was during his ban.
Yeah.
It's come out now that it was all during his ban. Now, again, what I loved about this, and again, I know everybody's going to have their own opinion on this because it is that way inclined. Rather than Newcastle stipulate the ban as being the point of sale, if you like, where you've let us down, there's a lot of criticism coming your way. What they've actually done is thrown a lot of love and support towards him. And by doing that, there's been obviously a gentleman's agreement that I have lost a year because of my ban. So I'm going to give you that year back to say thank you for your support and everlasting love that you've shown me, your guidance and everything else. And I think that is the reasons why it hasn't been broadcast as, the news, because I don't think what they've tried to say is, let's not make this about the ban. Let's make this about your performance. And I think they've waited till a perfect time to put that to bed, to put that part of him that was the poor side of it, if you like. I mean, he had the kahunas to hold his hand up and say he was wrong. But I think it's been an amazing turn point for Newcastle. He has come through all of that. He's put his boots on. He's gone out there and performed fantastically well for club and country. And I think now, is the perfect time to say to the vendors that are out there, by all accounts, looking at him, the UVs and everything else, and say, you know what? Behind the scenes,
Purchasers, by the way, not the vendors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, purchasers, sorry, yeah. We've already signed him. He's already got another 2 years with us.
But do I think it was a clever decision?
Warren's in with another £2. Thank you very much, saying, when the Telegraph, didn't you pretend you can read? Well,
the Times, sir, the Times.
There was a couple of photographs in as well. I looked at the
yeah, that was page 3, though, wasn't it, mate? That was the Sun.
I think it's very professional by the club what they've done there, signing up for an extra year while doing that. But I think at this point as well, we need to be fair with the lad. And if he's only on 120 grand a week, that's not enough. So we do need to offer him a new contract. I think not a new contract as such, maybe it's just a wage increase. Because I think if we offer him a wage increase, he'd have to accept it because anybody would. But I also think that it stops the issue of we're having to put a release clause in it. So if you just give it, you don't extend these contracts, we've got enough time on there now, but you give them that wage increase without the prospect of having to put a release clause in, because all you're doing is for the lad is giving him more money.
Yeah. I can work with that.
Your wish is my command, Mercury Dame. Thank you very much. Release Wayne, he looks grumpy in there.
Mercury Dame, he looks grumpy all the time.
No, that's one thing I never look grumpy.
Grumpy. Yeah. So I mean, like I say, it is interesting when you look at people say, why wasn't it closed? Why have we been waiting on tender hooks, if you like? But I think it's been absolutely perfect. I really do. And like I said, just to put the cherry on top of that cake after a great performance last night, to come out with that today, I'm like, me and the missus, bless her, we've been working so hard today. And I looked at her and she says, because I got my headphones in, because she's not a very keen football person at all. Polish, that's why. I don't play football in Poland. She looked at me and I got a whacking cheesy smile on my face, and she went, "What's the matter?" And I went, "Tonali's been signed 2 more years." And she looked at me and she went, "Tonali? Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's no point. There's no point in me talking about it." But anyway, yeah, it was a great. I mean, for me, it was fantastic news. Put a massive smile on my beak. I've just been sent quite a funny thing. I'm hoping I can get it on the screen for you guys. when I get the opportunity to. But I can't see it on my screen for some unknown reason. Why isn't that coming up on my screen?
I can see it down below, Gary.
Yeah, I know, but for some unknown reason, it won't add. You know, when you add it to screen, it just doesn't want to share. Let me see if I can whack it on there. There you go. The only problem is, I'm just going to have to. I can see it down there, but I can't see it anywhere else on my screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when I've added it, it's gone off the whole of the screen, so I won't bother. It's just going to cause mayhem.
So what
there
was
you
it?
go. It was somebody had sent in Isaac against Frankfurt being hooked, and it was somebody sliding on his knees all the way off the field, down the tunnel, and carried on going.
As per goal celebration.
As per his goal celebration, yeah, exactly. So it didn't go down very well with that one. But anyway, I don't know what happened there because it just didn't want to work on my screen, so it wasn't that good. What else?
Ooh. I think we've lost Gary.
Why is playing at the local theatre over Christmas? I think that's supposed to be Win. Win is playing at the local theatre over Christmas. He was going to play Grumpy, but now he's playing Shouty in Snow White and the Seven Geordies. Oh,
Wynn's actually quite a tall bloke when you meet. I thought you would be quite short when I met you, but you're actually quite a tall bloke.
are you stupid or what? Right, there you go.
How's it going, lads?
Hey.
How's it going? All good? Did Gary already come off?
I don't know. He's gone offline.
Yeah, it seems like
something happened. I think he had a technical issue anyway.
Either way, we're here. So, we don't talk about technical issues, man. People don't want to hear about that nonsense. When something goes bad, just deal with it. Quiet. There's Gary there in the building. Gary's back.
I don't know what happened there. Everything went off, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" I'm talking to myself.
There you go. How's it going?
At least you'll be listening.
I was listening. That's what I'm saying. And nobody else was talking, and I'm thinking, "What's going on?" I meant to ask you, but what I was asking, because I was just reading my notes, Graham Jones being obviously appointed as the second at Sweden. He's been given the go-ahead. He's got a chance of missing, obviously, around Newcastle in November in internationals and the end of March if they get to the playoffs. Does that affect Eddie Howe's plans going forward or not?
Well, if Graham Jones is going to work for Norway, yeah, he's going to have to get another coach in.
Sweden, man.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden because he knows, what's his name, Graham Potter.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if he's going to work for, what did I say, Norway?
Norway, yeah.
Norway,
yeah. Oh, sorry, Sweden.
Norway, man.
Whichever. If he's going to offer another job, he's going to have to be replaced.
Yeah, but he's only doing it as a part-time. He's not going full-time. He's just going over there to give, what's his name? Graham Potter. Yeah, a bit of supporting role.
It's happening a lot, actually, as of late, to be honest. Some managers just want to do it part-time and then do clubs, in the full-time, I guess. But I don't know.
Well, that's the only way I could ever say England in the foreseeable future. The only way I can ever say Eddie managing England would be on a part-time basis.
You can't coach on a part-time basis, can you? As in manage, but you can go up as a coach, as in supporting role, as a part-time basis.
I mean, a manager has to, bigger fish to fry. I mean, he had to go out there and look for English folks, English players playing in different places, different areas. Not having to concentrate on one team alone.
Wins having a shock of the night with clubs and nations.
Yeah. Oh, and if you guys missed it the other night, don't ask them about Glenn Roeder.
Didn't bring that up again.
Yeah, bless you. Oh dear.
By the way, the mighty Frankfurt are getting beat 4-1 now.
Yeah, from going in the lead.
For all you who said I was talking rubbish at the start, and we've got another one who thinks it's rubbish. Who doesn't think the Premier League?
I think I must have picked the worst game to watch tonight. Monaco and Tottenham, 0-0. It's as boring as hell, mate. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, this notion that the Premier League is the top of the cream, it may be, but that
There's
doesn't
no
mean that the others
maybe
are far
about
off.
it, man.
No, there is a maybe about it. That teams are like you just saw Galatasaray beat Liverpool like a drum. You just see the boring match that he's mentioning about Tottenham and the other guys. It's just football, man. Football. It happens all the time. USG just a small team that everybody got excited about PSV, but but we got quality in our team.
Yeah, but did you hear what I said about that? We murdered USG, who in turn murdered PSV, and PSV have gone and murdered Napoli 6-2.
The thing is that unfortunately football doesn't work like that, man. It's not math. 1 + 1. You have to play 11 men against 11 men, mano y mano, face to face. Football doesn't just work like that, You that's it. They beat them, so that means we can beat Napoli now every time. 6-0. No, we just add the 4 that we put on USG on top of the 5-0 that USG did. So now we can beat them 9-0. That's guaranteed 9-0 against Napoli. What are you on about, man? Anyway,
yeah, I mean tonight Chelsea.
It is all of these teams
5-1.
apart from, as I said, 6 or 7 teams. The rest would be struggling in the Premiership.
No, what I was saying was Chelsea have won, beating Ajax 5-1. Liverpool have beaten Frankfurt 5-1. And now I'm watching Spurs 0-0. What I could have been watching is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But anyway, food for thought. So I'm going to hand over the button to Christopher. Thank you for everybody watching. Have a lovely one, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
And Liverpool's 5 and the Rats still not on the score sheet.
He's off the pitch, isn't he?
Well, he is now.
What are you on about that? Listen, I think you give Isak too much attention, man. Who cares about Isak? Only you bring him up. I don't give a damn about him. I give a damn about the super chat for Warren Glennon, though. Chris, are we going to have another quiz, my man? Well, it seems like people do enjoy their Friday neats with music and banta. So maybe we have we need to add a few questions in there as well. So join us on Friday again, and put the money in the jukebox and get your songs played. That's how it works. There you go. So we got a few things to discuss on this part of the show, by the way. Smash the like button, folks. Help us out. It doesn't take much. Just hit that like button. We are not doing too well as far as likes is concerned on YouTube. 52 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. I see the chats in there. David T, they made you leave the group chat the other night, man. It's that group chat is brutal. I'm telling you, it can be at times. It is what it is. If you ain't got the skin for it, then it is what it is, man. You guys were talking about Tonali, which is a great news, by the way. And did you guys mention a little bit? I think the surprise of how it wasn't known. To me, that's a big surprise. The fact that nobody knew this for the last 2-3 years, was 2 years maybe, and the reason why it's known really is because the club wanted to put it out now. The club put it out now, in different indirectly, with journalists, because of the rumor that Tonali now is leaving and the Isak situation. They don't want the fans to get on, to start whinging about it and that attention. So they indirectly just say, put it out there. He's protected, and so now fans can calm down, which I think is a smart thing to do. But it is still surprising that nobody knew about this thing.
I just think it would have been such a brilliant announcement to make at any time.
But I mean,
if anything, it should have been done after a defeat, for to book
that
the
would have
spirit.
That would have been criticized as well. Man, I think that would have been criticized as well. Warren Dean, thank you for another super chat there. Boki, some man you like,
and Chris will mix it up.
Yeah, we always need our Warren in the chat, man. We're proper lad. But some super chats, you just never know. We couldn't be able to show a few, but it's all right, man. Keep them coming. They did since David T. They kept me away the group. So you can mute it, man. You can. I tell people all the time, mute it, get away from it, and then be back when you need to be back, man. But Mark Douglas says an interesting, just to put things into perspective, and it might, burst some people's bubble about the Tonali deal, which is common sense, really. But the news of the Tonali contract extension, he says, who he signed when he signed it during his gambling ban. Calms the fears basically that he's going to leave, but at the end and speaks volumes of the player, by the way, who at the time didn't have to do it. Sure, he had I don't know about the legality of things as far as him having to lower his contract. You could expect that they might have something in place for that type of stuff, but I don't think he had to lower his contract. But he did. I believe at the time he did the right thing, which is lower his salary whilst he wasn't playing. So that's already a good enough thing, a respectable thing, you would say. And I don't think he owns us anything. Wynn thinks he owns. He should be playing for free now, which is absolutely rubbish. He doesn't owe anything. He already gave us a cup. Without him, we'd be knackered. So we would still be 71 years without a trophy. So that's down. But the fact that he's
a one-man team.
But it also, we are. We are, man. We are. But unbelievable. It's a good thing from Newcastle as well, though. Newcastle saw the talent
they made you Benfica 3-0 without him.
Yeah, Benfica. Go. And actually, it was 1-0 until Barnes came in, and boom, boom, boom. Game's over. Let's go home. Get some fish and chips.
That Barnes is irrelevant. We're a one-man team.
No, Barnes came in. The man that you hate, that you.
I'm saying, everything we've done because of Tonali.
Well, of course, yeah. He's the best player.
But Chris, I don't know if you heard what I said about Tonali is, yes, he's signed this contract, but we shouldn't take the mick out the lad. He's only on 120 grand a week now, and he's worth a lot more than that. So he deserves a pay rise.
He's got to be on more than hold on. He's got to be on more than 220 though.
He's only on 120.
Only on 120.
Tonali.
He's on 100. I thought he was 150 or something.
No, 120.
120. So as I say, don't take the mick out of him. Give him the bigger. Don't change the contract because you'd have to put a release clause in, but pay him more.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I think Newcastle should definitely beat him to the punch and beat everybody else to the punch because, again, he's tied until 2030 with an option. I think there's the club's option. Still a long time, to be honest. 5. That's incredible. But as we know, Isak's contract it wasn't an issue of the length of the contract. He still had a contract until 27 or something like that.
No, he wanted to go.
Can we just pick Wynn up as well? Because he's been saying for weeks that he's worried that Tonali's got no commitment to the club.
I haven't said that at all.
You have.
No, I haven't. I've said put a contract in front of him and let's see if he signs it. We've obviously done that and he signed it. Fantastic.
That was 2 years ago. Now it's a different thing. He needs to get more money. He needs to get the money that he's worth as the best player on the pitch.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just,
I don't have an issue with that at all.
All right, then. Well, so why are you arguing?
I'm not arguing with you. That's arguing. You're the one that keeps Wynn says this, Wynn says that.
But you're the one arguing with Bogey.
Because Bogey's trying to say that I have insinuated that Tonali's heart is not in the club. And I've said no such thing. And I've always said, put a contract in front of him and let's see where his heart is. Now, that's obviously been done. And he's agreed to it, so there's not a problem.
So can you now admit the fact that Tonali's our best midfielder? Because that was your argument for saying Bruno was
the best midfielder. He's our best player.
No. My argument then, if you remember, was stick or twist, going through the various options instead of Tonali, and my argument for still picking Bruno, and I would still pick Bruno, totally irrationally, I agree, was because at the time that I made that decision, by the way, it hadn't been yet proven to me that Tonali's commitment was there the same as
But-
Bruno's was.
But it
No,
has-
but what? No, let me ask you this, because you always want to put Bruno and Tonali all of a sudden on the same page. Well, as far as playing is concerned, they're not really. Tonali much better, but why do you want to question? All of a sudden, you woke up this past 2 weeks. Why do you want to question Tonali's commitment? Like, why don't you say, let's test Bruno's commitment and give him a better contract or a longer contract now and see what he says? You know, because you are very aggressive with your narrative of put the contract on the table. Let's see if he signs it. Why don't you have the same energy and tone of voice when it comes to other players?
Well, if you remember, this all came about because of black and white banters.
Who?
Stick or twist that they
Who's
did
that?
beside Gray's monument.
Well, I don't know who that is, but whatever.
And it was Matt on black and white banter, and so he did the thing saying stick or twist with Rob Lee, with I can't remember who else it was.
We got him jailed.
I agree. Tonali stick, Tonali stick, Tonali stick, Tonali stick, and the final one was Tonali or Bruno. Do you stick or twist? And I said then, for me, I would twist. I would have Bruno instead of Tonali.
Okay, that's a personal opinion.
And I said when I said that, when we did the bit, I said I realize it is completely irrational because Tonali is a better player for the team than Bruno is. I said all of that. I said he's playing out his skin, no rush. But I says the only reason that I would have Bruno
Because he's waving his arms at the crowd. Yeah.
is because of his proven commitment to the club, which at the time.
But
could
what
not
is the proven
be said.
commitment? But why do you put that in there? And what makes you think? Because you're comparing the two. You're choosing Bruno because of his commitment to the club. What is Tonali not committing to? Is he not committed to the club? What is he playing backwards? What's going on? I want to know. I would like to know, because you say you say irrational things. I agree with you.
This is you creating the argument, not me.
No, not at all. You're the one that, if you say between Tonali and Bruno, I choose Bruno because of his commitment to the club, that means you don't think Tonali's got commitment to the club.
Which I didn't
Or
know
if
at
you would
the
say-
time. No, he has. But even then,
So have you
and
changed your mind?
I realize how irrational it is.
Well, we know you're irrational.
Tonali does not show the same public love and affection, if you like, for the tune that Bruno does.
Oh, okay. So he's got to do this to the crowd, and he's got to do all. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And he's got to
do
come
the irrelevant part.
and-
Do you know what? When but Tonali does his talking on the pitch.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
What's
I'm-
that, lad?
I'm not-
Mate? You're
I
talking about
can't-
commitment. You're
I
talking about
cannot.
the
I
best.
cannot disagree with you.
You're talking about a great player. He shows his commitment on the pitch, not by doing all this, but by putting class performances every week.
Tonali, Bruno also does it on the pitch. Warren saying, Borgie don't question when he reads the Telegraph.
Cheers, Warren. He got you on that win. He got you on that, man. He got exactly. Listen, because of players, and some I appreciate, but I become, I become cynical being a Newcastle United fan, because I do have a little bit of the battered wife syndrome, not as chronic as you guys have it, but I do have it in the sense that I'm tired of being violated. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of. I want to stand up for myself, because the club has always given me rubbish. So this throwing arms in the air and and the tune and all of this nonsense never won me nothing as a fan. And now we got proper footballers like Tonali, like the lot, and even Isak when he was a proper footballer, and they won stuff. Isak is so indifferent, to anything really. It's like he has no emotions in life. But he scored a lot of goals. So I'm more about that, about the football pitch. That makes me fall in love with players like Solano, like Shearer. Because Shearer was a Geordie, but he put it in the back of the net. You see how easy that is? Because if he didn't,
That's right.
no matter how Geordie he was, like Longstaff, he'd
That's
have
why.
to go bye-bye. He'd have to go bye-bye.
That's
And that's
why.
the thing.
Well, that's why, whether you like it or not, you'll never get being a Geordie.
No, but I do. Well, being a Geordie, I'll never try to be a Geordie because it's not my thing. I don't want to be a Geordie. I'm a proud American. I don't want to be a Geordie. That's not my thing. I'm a Newcastle United
That's
fan.
fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I quite honestly, I could care less about being a Geordie. That's not my thing. I don't want to be a Geordie. So I'm an American Newcastle United fan. You understand that? And I want Newcastle United to win, to succeed, to be successful as a football club, something we have never been ever in my entire life. So that's what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean? I think you generalize fans all the time, and it's not good because Boki is a Geordie. He's been a Geordie all his life. He doesn't think like you, and many others don't think like you. The one that you wanted to bring up in the stadium, but you didn't because you want to censor different opinions that are not like yours. Remember the one that you told, don't come over here, man. You know, we can't have you on because you're not part of my narrative. You remember that fan? Remember that fan that you were going to bring in this game against Benfica? You know, he thinks
he wouldn't come on.
That's what you said.
By the way, I've messaged him today to say if he wanted to come on tonight when he had his fellow bedwetter in with him to back him up. He still wouldn't come on.
So my point is that, you know, I want players that.
I have no problem bringing them on. I have no problem with different opinions. All I'm saying is that
first of all, let me release you because somebody said Mercury Dime. Is it Mercury Dime that put that's a super chat?
Mercury Dime's released us. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
He's got us. Cheers, Mercury Dime.
Cheers, Mercury. And then Warren Denning in the chat says, Chris, it's not a medical condition. Chill. Oh, it is a medical condition because some people can't see past it. You know, they have it's chronic on some people. The blindness, the throwing the arms in the air, as if that's wonderful. The atmosphere is great. It's lovely, unbelievable. That kind of started, by the way, when the takeover came back. Because I do remember games in the past, in this last 20 years. They weren't. They weren't all the atmosphere. So you guys see, some of us have seen games before where the stands were empty a lot of times. So these flags, war flags weren't there for a long time. They came back at their takeover. But the atmosphere, you know, this thing that we got now atmosphere is great, unbelievable. We're the best ever in the world, one of the best in Europe. Everybody gets scared when it comes. Mourinho had a game plan for the atmosphere. We know that. Perfect. Although yesterday the atmosphere wasn't that great, by the way. So we can talk about that.
It wins.
But it wasn't always there. It wasn't always there. No matter how many people want to tell me, you America, you don't know nothing, you don't get to be a Geordie, you're not a Geordie, blah, blah, blah. Stop lying. 7 years ago, 8 years ago, the atmosphere wasn't all that great, Bonnie lad. It wasn't all that great. So let's not lie to people either. Go on, Bogey.
But Chris, unless you're born within 10 miles of the ground, with your mum licking a bit of coal and your dad drinking a bottle of brown ale as you come out, you're not a proper fan. So you know, it's impossible.
Well,
you know?
I'm pleased you think that way, Boogie, because I certainly don't.
But that's the point. You know, we listen. The atmosphere is unbelievable. All of that makes Newcastle United unique, but that doesn't win you football games. So you need to have proper footballers on the pitch that clearly want to be on the team, or else it's pointless. But if you asking me to pick a footballer based on that, I'm sorry, but we've had a few of those.
Well, no, because Bruno hasn't just got.
Yeah, but he's not better than Tonali.
The Geordie bit. He's got the football bit to go with it as well.
Not as good as Tonali. So if you ask me to pick, if you put a gun to my head, I'll have to pick Tonali. So
how many assists has Tonali got?
Again, you
play
keep
different
going.
positions.
That's the point I'm making. They're in different positions.
Yeah, but then you should have known that, and you should have said, "I pick both," because there's no lack of commitment from either or. I pick both because they're two different midfielders, and they can both play with you. But you didn't.
But the whole point of the game is you can only pick one.
You divided the fans. You divided with that opinion. You divided everyone.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. I realized soon, when I said it, and I said as much when I said it, that it's completely irrational and no reason for it, but I love Bruno more than I love Tonali. There you go. I've said it again, and I
Fine.
still do.
Well, you can be a weirdo all you like. That's fine. Nobody's gonna. That's
Well,
your
that's well,
God, that's your God
that's
given
exactly what I am. I'm a
that's your
weirdo.
God given right. That's your God given right to be a weirdo if you want to be one. David T says the atmosphere on the terraces in the '80s was great, and we were yeah. Well, I mean,
Correct.
I'm not talking about the '80s. I'm not talking about the '80s. I'm talking about my life as a fan,
Yeah,
2000 until now. Always been
Under
on
Mike
and off.
Ashley.
On it. Well, that's all I can speak for. I never said that before. I never said that it was rubbish before. I'm talking. I always spoken about my life as a fan, and yeah, it was under Mike Ashley. But in the bad times and the good times and all of that, let's think about that really good. Let's think about that really good. And
Get
see.
yourself
And
to
you
weird
blame him
teams
for
during
it.
the bad times.
But Chris, last night the atmosphere in the ground wasn't great, especially for the first 20, 30 minutes. It was poor, to be honest. You had the initial thing when the
great
flags
for
were
the
up.
first 5 minutes until they
Yeah,
had
but
till
till we
they
scored, it was a poor atmosphere.
till we got scared when they broke and nearly scored twice, and then the atmosphere dropped like a stone until we got the second goal.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was a strange
I was
atmosphere
doing me
last night.
dinger with the people around me.
Well, last night it was definitely weird. I mean, when you get into the commentary, you kind of forget because you're paying attention. But I could tell that it wasn't there for some reason. I mean, you think Champions League, maybe people get their their excitement in the first home leg in the first home game, like we did against Barcelona. But yesterday it wasn't there all the way, and it's
It was there up. It was there up till kickoff.
but again, and I get to the ones that are important are the players, because if the game got chopped up because the Benfica wanted that way, Mourinho wanted it that way, and obviously the referee called fouls, and that's why the game was boring, and the fans are gonna be they're a mirror to what's on the pitch, man. Simple. In the first half, it wasn't that.
I think me and Wynn discussed this before we came on, and it's probably a little bit controversial, but I think a part of it is as well, like, you haven't got the season ticket holders, the amount of season ticket holders here. So for
No, you
cup
got too many.
games, you've got a different setup of fans. It doesn't build up the atmosphere the same as when it's a season ticket holder who are there week in, week out.
Yeah, a lot of the season ticket holders did probably for financial reasons didn't take up the Champions League package.
Thank you. Well, actually, not thank you. I just saw this. I do extend my condolences to the fan that lost his life yesterday outside of St. James's Park on that terrible, tragic, well, not really an accident, a heart attack, cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
It just, it's an unfortunate event, but condolences to the family, and find peace soon, of course, and rest in peace to the fellow that passed away. Did you guys know that Endrick is expected to leave Real Madrid, and he's been linked with us many times? Is he somebody that blows your fruck up? He clearly has to. I thought about that. He clearly has to still perform. He's still a young lad, but he's not playing at all over there, and he's showing some also attitude signs. Like he's bothered. He's not playing. He's making it known. He's making it. He's certain things he does with the media.
That can be good in a way, but it can also be bad in a way.
I don't know that he's going to play here though as much as he would like. Maybe more than Real Madrid.
I don't think that's an Eddie type of player. If they show that attitude at a different club, then I don't think that's the type of player he would try to sign. Mind you, whether Eddie's in charge could be a different question, but at the minute, I don't think that's a player he would try to sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A loan deal, they're looking at a loan deal. Real Madrid is looking into loaning him out in the winter. I don't know that Newcastle would be involved, but they are obviously having conversations with certain clubs. So Russ Wilson is there. I guess that would be one of his jobs if Eddie allows it. So we shall see. Mark Douglas, also put up an article, by the way, on today, because it seems like Newcastle hope to build a midfield around Sandro Tonali for years to come. Doesn't mention Bruno, by the way. I don't know. But they would like to add Ellie Anderson. Another one. One more time, Ellie Anderson coming around is somebody with a possible return. But also, it says that Man United and Chelsea are very much interested in Anderson, widely regarded as one of the brightest young talents in English football. That's Brighton. If Man United don't get Baliba, by the way, because Brighton's they won a lot of money for Baliba, like 100 and something, and I mean that's for Baliba, that's criminal, to be honest, but Man United might pay for it.
Caicedo, didn't they? But they got it.
Yeah, and so, but if they don't get him, they might be interested in Anderson. Forest are keen to hold on to their prized asset and have no intention of selling, despite mounting interest in valuation that's now reached around £75 million.
25.
So,
just a quick point on Anderson. Obviously, a lot of the things around Eddie are that he's brilliant at developing players, and I think that's something that you see win as well, isn't he? He's really good at developing players through. Yeah. What the hell went wrong with Anderson? Because you watch him play now for Nottingham Forest, he's a brilliant player. He had him in training week in, week out. How didn't he see that?
Yeah, well, he did say that. That's why he was distraught to lose him, but he wasn't as good as Tonali, Bruno, or J7 at the time.
He was a lot better than Longstaff and Willock.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But
nobody wanted to pay 45 million for Longstaff or Willock.
No, you're not gonna get that money for them. But that's what's going on as far as he's on public record as saying the last thing he wanted to do was sell the last and Minty as well. Mm-hmm.
Not that he had anything to do with Minty's rise, but he was certainly, he can take a lot of credit for the way Anderson's performing now.
Well, one person that's taken a bit of credit on indirectly on maybe Newcastle's success, I would say, is Cabbage Head. He was on a podcast today.
Who's just been sacked
and who's been sacked.
Bottom of the league.
I'll tell you something, because listen, again, amidst what people believe, the most I want to say I almost gave up on just watching Newcastle whatsoever when he was in command, because the team was I've never seen a team that just devastating to look at, and it was just that can't be good for your health to be angry at watching something, right? And so watching this video that this guy posted, not guy, but the podcast that Paul Scholes and whoever does it, and they invited him, almost feels like he's taking credit for certain things. So let's not funny around and let's just get to it. And hopefully this plays. If not, we'll have to play it on audio only. But let's go. This is the part.
I had to take it, and I still don't regret taking it. I remember we finished in 13th or 11th or whatever it was. It was towards the end of COVID, and there was about 10,000 allowed in the ground. Remember when they just allowed certain crowds in? Yeah. And it was the end of the season. So I said to Steve Agnew, "You think we should go around and give the supporters a clap?" He said, "I wouldn't if I were."
Oh, damn it. Come on now. It gets really good. It gets really good. I'm going to try to sort it one way or another, because my CPU win is knackered, man.
He said, "I wouldn't if I were you." I said, "Oh, come on, can it be that bad? We've just finished 11:30. We've just matched what Rafa's done. Can it be that bad? Come on." And as soon as we open the car, get out from you. Sit down, you fat bastard.
You must have been there when the change of owners came in them.
Amanda and her husband were absolutely terrific in the week I was with them. They allowed me to have the 1,000th game. My 1,000th game, would you believe, in management. was me last at Newcastle. And I had to say to them, listen, the only negative now in the club is me. So you've got to do the honourable thing and get somebody else in who can take you forward, because if I'm going to stay, the negativity around the place. And I recommended Steven Gerrard, who I believe was close at the time to taking it, and Eddie, because I think Eddie at Bournemouth had done a magnificent job.
And maybe it's me because I don't like this guy, man. Maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong way, but I feel like he's trying to take credit of Eddie Howe, and also I feel like the takeover, like they weren't going to sack him. I think that was that they weren't going to sack him, but he had to say, "Look, man, just do the honorable thing. Sack me. I will sacrifice myself for the Toon." And I feel like sacking him was the only most wanted thing to happen in football history, but the biggest known secret in the history of civilization when the takeover happened, that he was going to be gone at any moment given time. So he didn't need to tell anybody. Just like, welcome DX to the show. But what do you guys make of this guy?
We just have one the proper Geordie from when there was atmosphere. I was in the Gallagher then one time. Someone peed in my pocket. He broke his ribs off the concrete barriers that used to be there, and somebody pinched his peanuts. Peanuts, tell her a bag. The more you eat, the more you la 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 Magnum.
Chris, do you know what the most disgusting thing about that video was? He was our manager, and he doesn't know what position we're finished in.
Oh, well,
He's going. We're either 11th or 13th. Yeah, come on.
And he's the same manager who says, I recommended Eddie, and he's the same manager in an interview shortly afterwards said, who the bloke who got Bournemouth relegated.
You're getting what was he on £5 million a year, and you don't even bloody remember what position you finished in. I think that just tells you everything about Bruce.
He said we matched what
Rafa did.
What Rafa did. Comparing himself to Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez really was a class manager, in my opinion. DX hates him, but he's a class manager, in my opinion.
I think he's overrated.
And comparing yourself to Bruce doesn't even. I don't even know what he's done in his career to deserve a job, other than playing for Manchester United back 20 million years ago. Other than that, what has he done really to deserve any opportunity? Managing the Mackhams, and then we hired him. Only Mike Ashley would do that in his numpty head. Yeah, I mean, it just makes me mad, man. You say you recommended Eddie Howe, dude. You're trying to take credit.
He said he recommended
You recommended Gerrard, and he said that Gerrard and Howe are on the same level, kind of type of thing. And clearly, Gerrard was managing or still managing, I think, in Saudi Arabia somewhere. And
I think he's been.
I think he got sacked.
Yeah.
In fact, he was going to go with Rangers. He backed out.
They're talking about him going back to Rangers.
No. That's not going to happen now. He was already. It was going to happen though, but it's not anymore.
Liverpool. Maybe he'll go to Liverpool.
Liverpool, but they won 5-1 though. If they lost tonight, they might have been. It might have been an interesting topic to discuss, to say the least. Mourinho on Newcastle United. Full praise for Newcastle. Let's take a listen.
I told them that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Even as an opponent, it's beautiful. Of course, they are going to play with the Newcastle players. It's beautiful to play here. It's a different profile than to play in the London stadiums, and we have to cope with that emotion. We have to cope with it. We have to be strong enough to cope with it. I know that Newcastle and all the Geordies, what they want is bigger than the League Cup, but the League Cup is a beginning. To play in the Champions League is another very important step, and I think the club goes in the right direction. I told them that is beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's before the game anyway, but sentiments are the same. Marco here on Cabbage Head, very bad coach, but I didn't agree with the threats he received. No, well, I mean,
definitely not.
Of course, nobody's agreeing with that. And I actually felt really horrible because he lost his grandson, I think, little grandson, not too long ago. That was devastating. I don't like to hear anything like that. But I mean, as a manager, we're talking about football. It's a football channel, so But yeah, I mean, listen, that's why that atmosphere that everybody's talking about, it can go one way or the other. And when things go bad, it's to levels of toxicity that are unheard of in football. Really, I mean, it's just toxic as going to Venus, man. I mean,
And the only time it gets toxic is when the board. It's always sack the board. It's when the board are not doing the right things, when they're selling our best players, when they're not buying players, when they're appointing the wrong managers, etc., etc., etc. That's when things get really toxic.
Mhm. Yeah,
Other
well,
than that,
Can I just raise a quick point about Mourinho there? Does anybody ever remember Eddie having so much passion in his voice about Newcastle as Mourinho did in that interview? That's not me trying to slag Eddie off, but in all seriousness, has anybody ever heard Eddie that passionate about
Yeah,
Newcastle?
right.
regularly.
No, regularly. I don't know about that, but he praises Newcastle. I mean, in his
he
own
did
way,
it.
All the time.
But
his
he's
own
never,
London way.
Mourinho had a real passion there about Newcastle. Eddie Howe is very
No,
not robotic,
I
but
think it's
sort
just
of
different
state
people,
facts
isn't
it?
type of guy.
One's an extrovert and one's a bit more introverted. I think.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. But according to Win formula, he wants those extroverts. He wants them the ones that get the people up, and the ones that get the club and all that nonsense. So I'm assuming he must want Mourinho over Eddie.
No, not at all. I don't want anybody over already.
Tomorrow for me.
not for me. Not for me.
No. Warren Dennen, he blew smoke up. You know what? Top rank Mourinho. That's right. And some of you buy the smoke. Some of you grab the smoke, inhale it, and
Louis Frocko.
So Eddie's a different character and personality. He's very level-headed. I agree with that. I mean, he's
He
Jordan
still gets
Hero.
passionate.
I don't know about that, man.
Wasn't
I have never seen Eddie Howe lose his mind or be passionate about anything.
Do you know what I think the thing with Eddie is as well?
It's his
he
personality.
tries to get passionate, but if you look at him, even when he's celebrating something, his arms, if you're celebrating, your arms are up like this, he's like this.
His
arms are stuck.
I think you're reaching real hard, Boki. You're reaching
God,
real
yes.
hard. Man.
You're hunting for
pushing the boat out
negatives.
there, folks.
You are reaching now, man.
I'm not lying here. You guys watch back.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't make
watch
it
Eddie celebrate
better.
anything, and it's not sort of like that where that's a natural thing. It's more of a.
It's like that.
It's like that. Well, no, it's like that. It's like
But
I'm forcing myself to do this.
the fact that you had to bring that up feels
That's
like you
the
are trying to make Eddie Howe less than. I think it's just the personality, man. It is what it is. I mean, you might say that Newcastle is all about passion. In this particular case, Win seems to be one to skip that step of being passionate, and but it's just Eddie Howe's personality. I stay true to myself and say that passion is passion, but that doesn't mean I hire you or sack you or I prefer you because of the passion. I want you to do on the pitch what's good on the pitch, players or coaches. So the passion is there, but I don't really, it is what it is. Let's see what fans outside of St. James's Park were saying about this game.
Absolutely amazing. So proud. Played great. Gordon was outstanding. We needed a good win the night. Come on!
Who's going to win the Champions League?
Newcastle.
Good man.
It's probably our best performance of the season. We look settled and we look back to our best.
Tonali, Gillett in the midfield. I thought the midfield bossed it. When we're home games, we're in. We're there.
Even Jose Mourinho, every time we scored or kicked the ball out, he clapped. What a lovely man.
First Champions League match. Very happy about it. Really good impact off the bench.
A bit of a struggle for the first 20 minutes, but after that we found a rhythm, and I think it was only one winner, and that we'll get to the next round, no problem.
First Champions League match.
How did you find it? Great.
I was absolutely brilliant atmosphere. Just what you would expect from a Champions League game. We're on the up. We'll win it.
I don't think it was quite on the level of like PSG, but I thought obviously the win was fantastic.
There you go. People were knackered after the game. Lovely atmosphere, guy said. But I mean, okay. Well, he was in there. He could speak, I guess. Jordy then wants to put Boki in jail. Yeah. Boki was reaching. He deserves that one, man. He deserves that one. He was reaching so hard. You're gonna pull a shoulder muscle, man. Warren Den and DXK, be a gent and send Boki some hair, dude. So DX is in the building. DX, we haven't got your take, man. What did you make of the game last night? But before you dwell on that, one more super chat coming in from Andrew Barnwick. Poor Eddie can't even celebrate right for Boki. Oh, there you go. He's right. On that, I will agree.
Eddie Howe all day, every day.
Exactly. Barnwick. So thank you, Barnwick. And DX, what is your takes on the game, mate?
Yeah, well, I thought, first of all, that I think one of those fans, he must have been quite off his face because he said Tonali and Joelinton bossed the midfield. So I don't know what that was like. I thought it was second half was fantastic. Some of the football we played, and obviously Anthony Gordon, excellent in the Champions League, needs to replicate that form in the Premier League for us. I think, I could go through the team. I just think everyone sort of played their part. Obviously, Byrne at left back, that's just a patch-up job at the moment. But, I thought it was a really good team performance, 3-0. First half, to be fair, Benfica had some decent efforts, decent chances. But their goalkeeper was outstanding. He made some great saves. And just got to now make sure that we kind of put these performances in the league, in the Premier League, and we get some points on the board. And I think it's interesting that this level of the Premier League, I would ask the question, like, are some of these teams we're playing, not to dampen on what we're doing, but the likes of Union, SG, and the like, are they as good as any of the teams in the Premier League, or are they really the bottom feeding kind of clubs that we're playing? So I'm not getting too carried away, but it was a great performance yesterday, and I think a really important win, puts us in a good position. I think we've got Bill. Who have we got next at home in the Champions League?
Bilbao. Oh no, we got the cup. We had the Carabao Cup with Tottenham next.
We've got Tottenham next Wednesday.
Yeah,
and then Bilbao the following Wednesday.
Bilbao, yeah. So I think that's a good chance to get to 9 points, and then we won't be too far away, which is exciting.
And have you got the table there now after today's games, Chris? I've just sent you.
I think we're 8th, aren't we?
What? Are you talking about Champions League or what?
Champions League. Yeah, I've just sent you.
I
think we need. What do you think? Do you think we need 4 wins? Will 4 wins?
Well, 4 wins guarantees it. Just about 12 points has always been enough. Okay. 11 with a decent goal difference, and at the minute we've got one of the best goal differences.
Okay, well,
so this is the table right here as far as Champions League is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. PSG first, Bayern Munich second, Internazionale di Milano third, fourth Arsenal, Real Madrid fifth, Borussia sixth, Manchester City seventh, Newcastle United above Barcelona, Liverpool, Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon, Chelsea, and the mighty, powerful, unbeatable Karabag, as well as...
Well, from 8th to 11th are all on 6 points.
So basically, we got Marseille. We got to go to Marseille. We got to knacker them immediately. Take them out of the game. Take them out of their misery. Atletico Madrid, man, they're in trouble now. They've lost after loss after loss. And then we got to go to Athletic Bilbao. And that, you're talking about atmosphere, boy. That is proper atmosphere.
No, Bilbao are coming here.
We're not going over there.
No, sadly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So they're coming here. So never mind. Well, I'm assuming that we'll have I don't know. We'll have a good atmosphere. I hope we do.
We'll definitely have a good atmosphere for Bilbao. They love
Napoli, USG, Juventus. Very shocking. Juventus. Did they lose against Real Madrid today? I bet they did. Oh, are they playing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Madrid and all them. I mean, all these clubs are knackered, to be honest. Benfica, look at that. Same. I mean, they're all knackered. But 3 points, though. Not 3 points, sorry. 3 games played, but what are the points on the bottom?
Bilbao won today. They won 3-1 as it happens. I watched the game against Karabat. And Karabat took the lead after 50 seconds, and things were
with a G, man. Karabaga with a G. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Newcastle.
Those giants from Kazakhstan.
Are they from
That's
Kazakhstan?
right, baby. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan. I've been there. I don't think they were bothered about soccer, but anyway, that's another story. Newcastle United 8th though. Man, we're up there. We're up there, man. Up there, Champions League. We go. E-I-E-I-O. The other way around, actually. But look, we got next important. We got to beat. Who we got? Marseille.
No, we've got Bilbao next.
Bilbao next, and then we got Marseille.
And then we've got Marseille, and then we've got Leverkusen.
And that is it. So Leverkusen should be easy kill.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Here we go, bro.
Wait, is it home or away? Is it home?
You're out your mind, man. Leverkusen's away.
Well, that's not an easy game then, is it?
No.
Leverkusen, man, come on.
How are they doing? I haven't even been keeping. Oh, they lost 7-2 to PSG, but still, that's
7-2 at the finish, was it?
7-2 apparently, yeah.
I think that should be an easy. Well, where are they at on the table, man? Let's see. Leverkusen 30th, man. Come on.
Okay, well, we've got to aim to win it, yeah, for sure.
Well, we got aim to win it, no doubt, and even Marseille as well. They got an unbelievable Greenwood, by the way, who can't come to England ever again, according to some people. But he's been unbelievable as far as football is concerned. Kind of unheard of, really, because people that these type of things happen to, or they make things happen, they really typically don't come back to football. And he's really resurfaced as far as that's concerned. So I guess if he's a better man, who are we to judge? But good for him if he's doing the right thing. And playing at Marseille is not an easy task, but he seems to be doing all right there. But as far as the Champions League is concerned, it's not working out. But Newcastle United 8th, DX. What do you make of that?
Oh, it's fantastic so far, isn't it? So far, so good. Is it? We've Mighty Win said, if we win 2 more games, I think we'll be okay. But if we could win 3 more, that'd be even better. But I think because
three more, if you win 5, you're virtually guaranteed top 8.
Yeah, and that would be kind of the dream, wouldn't it? If we get top 8,
that would be the dream. Except we'll miss out on 2 matches, of course.
Oh well, we'll take that, wouldn't we? We'd lose a bit of money, but we'll be in the last. What would you be in the last?
Last 16.
16, yeah. So then I think we've got a chance to crack on like Villa did last season. They got to the quarters, didn't they? So I think it's a competition where you can go quite deep, really, because this group stage is quite open. There's a few really outstanding teams: Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG,
the usual suspects,
Real Madrid probably. But apart from that, like there's a lot of quite beatable teams in there. So I think if you can get a bit of luck of the draw, maybe in the last 16, last 8, you never know. You could get quite deep into it. And once you get to sort of the quarterfinals, anything's possible, really.
Well, actually, I've just noticed looking at the top 12 there, because I've said for quite a while that the Prem is the strongest in the league, the strongest in Europe, and that Germany are second. Germany are the only team with 2 in the top 12.
They're a Boki team.
And we've got all 5 English clubs are still up. All 5 English clubs are in the top 12.
Wow.
And the only other country with more than 1 team in the top 12 is Germany, with Bayern and Dortmund.
That was classic, by the way, the other day when I was like, what happens if we lose against Benfica? And Jamie was like, yeah, well, that would be a bad loss. I mean, we can't lose that. And then win, it's like, yeah, that would be a bad, that can't happen. And Boki, classic, he came back and he's like, no, I'll tell you what would happen. Benfica was a bogey team. What was it again, Boki? Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Boki, let's still hear if you want it. The players weren't good enough.
You've got a couple
the sun rose on the wrong side of the ground that day.
Yeah. Man, 0 points is a good is good points. No points in the Champions League. Man, Warren, thank you for the super chat. Says he hates Cucurella, which usually means he's a good player. There you go. And then he says,
I think that's a reference to Dom's haircut.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Every Saturday, I got the pink. Oh, well, wait, what's going on here?
The pink, football pink used to be the
That's
chronicle.
not a bad thing, Chris.
Okay, well, listen, I just gotta be careful with Warren. You gotta keep an eye on him. You gotta keep.
Yeah, he's on about the football pink, especially. You couldn't wait if Newcastle were anywhere near the top of the league for to see it in print first.
Mind you, I've got a bit of a feeling Warren might have been checking out for the Sunderland results.
That's right, Sheila. By the way, I think it might be sometimes you can't if you got too many characters, it doesn't let you send a super chat or something, depending on how much you're trying to send. So that might be something to do with it, or just refresh. But either way, thank you for trying. Appreciate that. All of you really super chat. Appreciate it very much indeed. So Premier League is the question, though. The Premier League is the question. Is really the main thing. Because we're 14th. We're going to play against the mighty, powerful, unbeatable, indestructible Fulham in London. And they are 15th, one place below us.
We're at home, though, aren't we? We're not playing in London.
I was going to say,
Well, let me say a London club. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm shocked you didn't refute my powerful, unbeatable, mighty Fulham. That's
they're just the kind of team that we struggle against, aren't they? Fulham.
So now that they're a bogey team, here we go, baby. It's coming. It's coming.
I need to get your list.
Fulham.
Oh, where's the list now? Yeah. A good point is a good, yeah.
No, it's not. We should win the game, but they are a team that we've had a pretty bad record against the last few seasons. So Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Everton. Those are the 4 teams. For some reason, we struggle against most seasons. I don't know why. It must be the way they play.
Don't forget the XK. Other teams outspent we're playing. We've had injuries. We've got PIF to blame, really, if I'm totally honest.
I'm not making any excuses, though.
We need to be patient, 100%. We'll go on a run, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, we know, yeah.
I'm saying we should beat Fulham at home, of course, but they have been, for some reason, we struggle. I don't know why, but we struggle against some.
What happens if we don't beat Fulham at home?
Man,
I'm telling you, man, Premier League is not good at the moment.
What happens if we win the Champions League and come 17th? Would you?
Then I mean, it would be the greatest season ever for anything.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Correct.
So, but what are you trying to say? That we can't talk about what happened against Fulham?
No, we've got to try and win the league games and try and get up the table. But it's a weird season. We don't seem to be replicating our cup form in the leagues. I don't know why. Forest was okay, but the other win against Leeds.
Well, the reason is because the Premier League teams are better than the teams who play in the cup.
Probably are. I mean, but even against Leeds, we weren't great, and you couldn't say.
Is Leeds better than Benfica? Ooh. Don't do it, Wayne. Don't do it.
I'll tell you what. I bet Leeds would give Benfica a better game than 90% of the Portuguese league. You're out your mind, man.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
Warren's commenting DX. What a lovely talker amongst the rabble.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
And
it is right.
Fulham are a better team than Benfica, man. Come on, now we have literally. Now Brian Quinn is saying that. See what I'm saying, man? It just makes no sense, man. It makes no sense whatsoever. And there's some time and they're 15th in the league. If you were telling me,
but that is the point, man. Fulham are a better team than Benfica, and yet they're still 15th in the Premier League.
No, man. If they were 6th, 7th,
I don't know about that, matey.
Better than Benfica.
If Benfica were playing in the Premier League, there would be relegation fodder.
We're 12th in the Premier League.
Dude, this guy is unbelievable, man. I'm telling you. And he believes that. That's the problem.
Absolutely
he believes what he says. It's unbelievable, that man.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Benfica. I would say Union SG, you might have a point, but
I don't think Benfica are any better than Union SG. I think that they're all pretty much of a muchness.
They only lost 1-0 to Chelsea, didn't they, away?
Sheila's just come in with the laughs.
Laughing at Boki. There you go. Thank you very much, Sheila. Appreciate it. Thank you, Warren, for the super chats and everybody out there supporting the channel. Just come on, man. We just can't keep saying stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, we're not taking serious, man. We're not. No, we're not, man. We're not. We're not. I mean, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley. Burnley's better than Benfica.
No, Burnley would. That's why Burnley are struggling.
They're 1 point behind Leeds and Fulham, man. What are you on about?
They've got Dubravka.
Come on, man. It's just unbelievable.
They'd be a lot worse off if they didn't have Dubravka. Have you seen Dubravka's stats this season? He's
very good. Yeah, I've got him in my fantasy team. So
I wish
we're beginning about settling the league at this point is where teams should be.
I think you've got to see every team play every team, which is Christmas. That's when every team's played every team. That's when you see where you really are.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you not think though, like a quarter way through the season, you're beginning to see a bit of a pattern?
Well, no, because if you look at who Sunderland's played, for example, to who we've played, there's no comparison in the fixtures.
Give us a second. That's number 12.
Oh, there we go. That's not. Yeah. We got to see the picture. But look, so we got a certain amount of games in the Premier League, right? I mean, a certain amount of. If you look at it, you can strategize things like, okay, this is the table. This is our matches. You're gonna have to play everybody twice. One home, one away. Pretty simple, right? Can we? These are the games that we need to lose. These are the games that we can not lose. Sorry, that could lose. I'm sorry. These are the games that we need to win, must win. We can get away with a point here, stuff like that. Is Fulham not a game that you can say we need to get these 3 points?
Oh, we should win at home against Fulham.
Yeah, you should win it too.
But if we don't, what's going to happen? A bogey team and all that?
No, I think people are just...
No, I don't think... There's no overriding reason why we shouldn't beat Fulham at the weekend.
Okay. We lost them last season, didn't we?
So whose fault will it be if we
even without Tonali?
But whose fault will it be if we...
No, but Tonali's going to play, by the way.
Tonali.
Well, if the players perform the way they did on Sunday, it'll be the players' fault.
I think they'll bring Bruno. Maybe Bruno will be on the bench.
So at what point do we put blame on Howe win?
What's that?
I'm saying at what Wynn's putting the blame on the players. I'm saying what point do we put the blame on Howe?
Well, if it can be proven that he's doing something wrong.
What do you mean if it can be proven? If you're not getting results, that doesn't matter to you either. If we're not getting results.
What of us? Listen.
No, win. Again, I've told you many times. I don't want Eddie Howe sacked, right? But you, man. Oh, what happened to your green screen? That's the and then hey, hide that. Don't move your chair too much, man. People are gonna see that inflatable behind.
We're peeking behind the curtain. This is like
and don't open that door because Eddie Howe's locked in there.
Got the inflatable ready to go.
We've got a good run of games now. We've got Fulham at home, West Ham away, Brentford
away. Opened the window and it blew the house down.
Yeah, well, that's interesting right there, what you're saying, DX. Because now we got a good run of games, you would say.
Yeah, it depends on West Ham a little bit.
And what Eddie has said on numerous occasions is what they do is they look at the season in groups of games.
Yeah, the next three.
As a group, that's what they all do, and then they target certain games.
Well, Brentford
He's on record as saying that.
Thank you for the super chat, Warren. Appreciate it. We'll have to skip that one though.
I think if we get Visser back on the pitch as well, I think that'd be a huge boost for everyone. But I don't know
that's going to be massive, and I think getting Hall and Livramento back, obviously.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, but so for example, let me ask you this because I just want to know. And no, Boki wasn't hired by me to go against a win. It
just happens organically.
It just happens organic. I mean, you listen to Win, it'll make you like Jordy say, it'll make your piss boil, man. It's just and by the way, we need to stop saying stuff like that. But anyway, we do though.
You just didn't. You just skipped over Warren's super chat for
no. Oh yeah, well, there you go, Alexander. Alexander, you're right. Just ask the bloke who in it.
Who
There you
paid
go.
in it?
And there you go. Appreciate it, Warren. So I'm just trying to understand though, because if we not getting a result, if we don't have the left backs and the the right back, Livramento and Hole, say something catastrophic happens, we don't have them at all this season. So, and then we don't have Wissa this season. He tears ACL, whatever. He's back in training right now, by the way. But I'm just give a hypothetical because we don't have him now, and I feel like some fans are expecting when they come in that we're going to be Barcelona 2006, right? So hopefully that happens. But if they're not part of the team,
Well, I think personally, Wissa's more important at the minute.
yeah. But so if they're not part of the team, though, they're not going to be part of the team.
Yeah.
And we finish mid-table or just like we are right now, 14, 15, whatever. Is that acceptable to you because we don't have the wing backs in the center forward?
No, I've already said it's not. If we're not within 6 points of the Champions League after the Christmas fixtures, then he's got to go.
Win. 6 points now. During the summer, it was 3 points.
Probably 3 points, actually. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you did send me a clip. You did send me a clip because Boki prepares himself for the shows. And he did send me a clip not too long ago.
Does some depend on the cups?
I think
as
we
well,
will be.
If we have good cup runs, you might get away with 14th place. If we won a cup again,
14.
If we won a cup, if we won the Champions League, you're not going to say 14th.
Oh, the Champions League is a son. But
or
I mean,
even the FA Cup. Let's be honest.
I don't think there's ever been a team. Maybe I'm wrong. That's won the Champions League and bottled the league because automatically you got good players that are going to perform.
I think Chelsea did one season and they came like 8th or something. But
yeah,
I think even if we won the FA Cup, I think we'd still see that as okay. That's a good cup to win. You know,
the UEFA would be the Europa League.
By the way, I took keep a note of these things, and my 3-point statement was in answer to Bogi's when we had the discussion about how good the transfer window was. And when the window shut, and I was saying what a good window it had, and so what does that mean? And I said, if we aren't within 3 points of the Champions League come Christmas, Eddie's got to go.
Yeah,
but that was before I knew Wissa was gonna get crocked, and Ramsey was gonna get crocked.
So that's what I'm saying.
By the way, even at the time, I did qualify it by saying, unless we have a catastrophic list of injuries the way we did 2 years ago.
When you said it originally, it was before we even signed Wissa. It was that day when you went off on one.
Yeah, before, yeah.
Yeah, that was before we signed Wissa.
We haven't signed anybody, to be honest. I think only signed Ilanga at the time.
Had we sold Isaac at that stage?
No.
Well, there you go.
We
hadn't signed Wissa, but we still had Isaac.
So, but let me ask you this, window. Let's keep things simple here. So, if we don't have the wing backs and we don't have Wissa for the rest of the season, what would be okay with you to keep going? What would be like the standings? What would you be happy with?
I still want to be within 6 points of the Champions League.
So you're not qualifying for a Champions League.
Because if we're not, we need somebody else to come in and use the January window to repair the situation.
No, I'm talking about the end of the season, man. End of the season. If we don't have those players that you're asking for, what would be an acceptable season for Newcastle United? The position, not having those players.
Well, again, you're then assuming that we've done nothing in January. Max, I would expect us to do something in January. If there's any likelihood that Hall and Livramento won't be up and running and firing on all cylinders by the 1st of January, then we need to get replacements in.
Get Matt Target back.
Well, you know how hard that is, though, because we're not really great at this stuff, you know.
Well, I go back to what LB said so eloquently, in my opinion, that buying first-team players is the easy bit.
No, not really.
Well, no. When you've got unlimited funds, it is like Man City. It's buying bench players that's the hard bit.
No, it's not hard at all.
They get good players who are prepared to come and sit on the bench.
It's not hard at all, man. It's not hard. You just got to buy the good players and get them in before anybody else. Simple. Newcastle United has a reputation. You put the money in before the Man City and all of them get in there, because if they get in there, obviously they're going to go. Tony, how tall is Wayne? The people have a right to that. Wayne is pretty tall, actually. He's a little bit. I think he's my size, though. Are you not? I think you're. Are you taller than me?
I'm 5'11".
Okay, there you go. So I'm about 5'10", 9 or something like that. So there you go.
Well, when you put your lifts in, you make it a 9.
My lifts, my platforms.
Win is a lot taller than in person than he looks.
Yes,
on screen.
he's definitely a lot taller. He looks old and decrepit on screen, which he still is. He's just a tall, old, decrepit guy.
I still think he looks old and decrepit in real life.
Yeah, but no, he's a pretty good bloke. He can't walk worth a damn though. He gets tired, but just like me though, I can't walk too much. 100% retired, baby, out of the military. I can't walk too long. But I remember walking at Lee's Park, man. That was, man, we had Win. No, Win is, by the way, to a fellow Geordie, Win is the rudest person ever, man.
Yeah.
Rudest person ever. To Geordies, like, he's not a nice guy. He tries to be a nice guy here, but he knackers them, man. Somebody asking for a favor here and there, he told the bloke off. It's I thought he was a nice guy.
Really?
We were walking through Elise's Park, and he told off the guy, man. The guy just asked him for a favor.
I didn't tell him off at all. I just said, I don't suffer beggars lately.
Chris is not very often to stand up for Win, but he is a true gentleman when you're out for a pint with him. I've got to say that.
That's true.
Oh,
but the dude was like, he had the thickest Geordie accent ever, man. But I think that's just because he was. But he was asking for it. What did he say? What did he ask you for? Win?
Is it time, man, mister?
He was knackered, man. He took the Newcastle black and white to.
By the way, all I did was nothing untoward.
You didn't. You told him off.
Pal.
I'm a gun, man. Get a job. Yeah, you did.
Exactly.
You told him off, man. And that dude was so scared. He was so scared, man. He looked like a zombie too, though. He looked like a zombie. He took the black and white to heart because his teeth was black and white, literally. And that's the park that the green people don't want to tear down, man. Come on, man.
And that's all it is. It's a thoroughfare. It's a shortcut to the hospital from Barrack Road, and it's an overnight for the homeless.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it. Nobody uses it except
You're telling me there's no lovely ladies walking their little dogs in the mornings at Lee's Park. You're telling me there's no lovely folks, no lovely students going there to read a book or something.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. I'm talking about. You're talking about a handful of people that actually use it, and most of them are dog walkers who foul the place up.
I would say Lee's Park is more of a walk through than a park. It's more of a pathway to somewhere else. You would never go there and spend
a day there. It's a shortcut from Barrack Road to the hospital.
Yeah,
that's simple.
Oh man, that's crazy. But you're right though.
I don't know when the last other than once a year when they do the illuminations there for the Winterland Walk thing, which lasts for 3 weeks over Christmas, and that's where they get their figures from for how many people go use the park. You could put that anywhere. You could put that exact same setup on the town moor, and it would attract the same number of figures.
And what people forget as well is that you'll get the land where St James's Park is back,
because that'll have to come down. So you would have like probably a nicer walk through to the new stadium.
They might keep it for the women's team though, won't they?
It's too big for the women's team.
No. Listen, I would be all for
Second
that. I'd
one.
be all for just exchanging the footprint and give them, just turn the.
No, man, you can't tear down St. James' Park. I don't want St. James' Park to be torn down.
No,
It
but
needs to
that's
be
keep it-
made a
keep
big
it something.
museum,
Yeah.
big museum,
Football
and
museum.
and you can still rent the the part where
Thought you was hard with his minder. Who him a minder? Are you having a laugh?
Cheers, Warren. Cheers, man. Appreciate
Warren,
it.
it was his carer, not his minder.
Nobody has bailed Boki
I
out, by
think
the way.
it's Chris he's on about.
Nobody's bailed Boki out. You know he's been a bad one tonight. Nobody's bailed him out. Sheila says he's beginning to think Boki's starting to enjoy his jail time. Listen, man, there's no
I showed him the ropes.
I even put me cardio on for Sheila, and she still hasn't bailed us out. So me and her are going to have words.
There you go. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting topic though. But yeah, the league. Back to football. I mean, the league is going to be an issue. I think that we're going to have to start getting points.
The league is definitely an issue. There's no doubt about it. But
Yeah.
I love the way things are coming together. I love the way the team are learning now to use
Baltimore.
utilize Walter Mortar in the best position, and play to his strengths.
Looking a good find, isn't he now? I mean,
He's a
Isaac
cracking find.
Isaac didn't score today again. They scored 5.
Well, he got
And he-
subbed again.
He didn't get an assist or a goal again. So we can only hope that continues.
I think we need to stop using Isaac as a sort of a deflection from the issues we're having.
I know, but it's nice to bring it up.
But
It
he's
is,
a massive
but-
part of it, Boogie. You cannot.
No,
you
no,
can't
no.
do that.
Not when he's scoring goals, man.
He's going to start scoring goals. Let's face it, at some point.
At some point,
We need to just move on from the lad. He's gone. We've got a lot of money for him, but let's talk about the team as things are at the minute.
Yeah,
And
let's spend that.
that's the right thing to do.
I think
Listen,
it's fun to
I've
watch.
called it out before. We shouldn't be singing songs that include our players and things and that about them. He should just be forgot about, and we should move on to the players that we've actually got and get our support behind them.
Well, that's exactly what we do. Apart from
It's
you.
not because you look back to Isaac.
No, but it's fun to bring him up now and again, just as a little punchline.
Well, when you think about it, the gameplay has not been. It may be in the beginning, but now Walter Mortar is scoring goals, man. So he's not. It's not like he needs to be adjusted. No, he's scoring
He's
goals.
feeding off scraps, isn't he, at the moment?
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you start feeding him proper balls, he's going to score more. But that has to do with the form of play. Who we have to figure it out.
You talk about Big Dan being 6'6" and can't win a ball in the air. I tell you what, Walter Mortar cannot win a ball in the air in the middle of the park.
How many goals has he scored with? How many goals has he scored with
his head?
Yeah.
Why are you judging? Why are you judging a center forward? See, your priorities are way off. You talk about Gordon being this great player for Newcastle when he doesn't score, doesn't assist, but he runs. So that's all of a sudden his priority as a winger. You talk about Walter Mortar not winning. So Walter Mortar doesn't win headers.
Misrepresenting what I say.
No, but you say Walter Mortar doesn't win headers. He's a striker. He scored twice with his head already. 5 of his goals twice with his head. What are you on about, man? What do you want him? How will he make you happy? Winning headers where in the midfield, in defense.
When the ball's kicked up to him, or ideally as we've seen now, thrown up to him perhaps.
Come on, man. He'll never be enough, man. That's the problem with you, man. There are players that are never going to be enough for you. You're always going to criticize them. And there are players that will always be enough for you, no matter how bad they do. And that is the problem. The critical. That's the problem right there. But it's poor Walter Mortar, man. Hey, Walter, just know the proper fans, we got your back, brother. We got your back, man. No matter what.
And this proper fan was calling for Walter Mortar a long time before we got him. He wouldn't have been number 6 on my list.
But we got him, and now you're saying he can't score his head, as if that's a bad thing, or even a real thing.
It would be ridiculous to say he can't score with his head when he's already scored with his head. What I said was, when we got him out of 36 Bundesliga, you would think you would think that would be his strength.
And who's
And again, as I said, from when we got him, that's not his strength. He's
and
more
who's
a
a better-
Peter than a Peter with.
So who's a better header of the ball in the team than Voltemata? Just winning headers.
No, not
Kieran Trippier.
Bottom maybe.
Trippier, what?
Kieran Trippier.
I bet
They're all better headers of the ball. Than
Are you
Baltimore.
kidding? Nah, so you're taking
He's
it.
quite good, yeah, he's quite good. Not
Yeah,
perfect.
he's taking the P. Geotune, if we
For
listen
his
to
size,
winning in change, we would be in the non-league. No doubt about it.
Yeah,
Man. Come
for his size, he could be more effective in the air because he got the advantage over everyone.
more effective than 2 goals in 5 with his head. I don't know what more effective
No,
he needs to be.
what I mean is, like, he could be just a killer. Like, let's
see how many goals he scored with his head.
Well, let's see. Let's feed him. Let's
the
give
end
him
of
the
the
ball and see
season.
what happens. Let's give him the ball and see what happens. We don't give him the ball to know anything. You know, you talk about Dan Burn because I know that's what I wanted to. I asked you that question. You said Trippier. I don't know, but again, you double
Wins
that.
more than his fair share of headers for the size he is.
I've never seen Trippier win one header in my life. I try to think.
Well, that's because you didn't watch the game.
I try to think. What are you kidding me, man? This is unbelievable.
Instead of talking, can you get in your tippy tap and see how many goals Isak scored with his head over the last few seasons?
Well, Isak didn't score enough with his head either.
But here's my point. You say
Because he was lightweight.
Who's better, Burn or Voltemata with headers?
Burn by a million mile.
Burn by a million mile. I agree with you. Yesterday, he won every single one of them, but he needs to work on directing that ball somewhere important. Because all he does is
straight down
to
Bruno's
straight
foot.
down to the ground. That one, it just happened to find Bruno, and Bruno almost tapped it in, but it wasn't a pass. It was straight down to it was straight down on the pitch. It goes nowhere relevant. You know, it's that's what he won all the headers in the world, but none of them were important.
God, Chris,
but none of them.
Nonsense. Burn yesterday.
You're talking nonsense.
Was magnificent.
You're telling me I'm talking nonsense, but you're the one that says Voltemata. His headers have been more relevant than Burns yesterday. All 20 of them.
If Burn was brilliant yesterday in the air, he had 3 shots on goal with his head. What did he actually do?
Come on, man.
Well, first of all, he got a fantastic save out the keeper with one of them. Secondly, he put one on Bruno's foot for a simple tap in, which again brought a brilliant save from the keeper. And everybody's forgetting how good their keeper was yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, and third. Well.
You're just watching different games.
No, I think,
Hey,
I think my point of view is that Voltemata is good in the air, but I think he can be an absolute killer in the air because his size, physicality, he can get better. Like things.
I think that he's proven it. I mean, you know, the percentages, the averages, you know, you're going to see that when you feed him the ball. But as far as we have fed him the ball, as much as we have fed him the ball, he's doing pretty good. And again, as I defended Isak back in the day when said he wasn't a proper center forward, whatever that means, because I want my support.
Just out of interest, in his whole career, Trippier has won 267 aerial duels, which is 59.1% of all his aerial duels.
That's not bad for a little guy.
Not bad for 5 foot note, is it?
But Wayne, how many of them are just balls played forward where he just heads them? You know, you can prove anything with stats.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Using stats to lie.
He did say aerial
67 out of 452.
But I'm saying how many of them are just where the balls.
Chris has never seen a single one of them.
I never have. Because it's not. I don't look at Trippier and says, "Wow, man, I cannot wait until he gets in the box and heads this ball in." No, you know who I thought of? The one and only Gary Speed. I thought, unbelievable, this kid. He's a midfielder, and he can score with his head. That's something that doesn't happen. That's something that doesn't register.
Scoring with your head, no, that counts.
Les Ferdinand, he's the best.
Well, yeah, but you guys talk. But I'm saying a midfielder to head. I'm like. It's kind of not. It's not a really a common thing. So I was like, Gary Speed.
Shearer was the best end of.
Well, Shearer's a centre forward.
I
So
actually think Ferdinand was better in the air than Shearer, but Shearer was
Oh,
better
I disagree.
in every other way.
I tell you what, and if there was a ball coming in, and two of them going for the ball, I know which one I would back to put it in the back of the net.
but I wouldn't pick Trippier. I know that. Iris is also thank you, Joe. When
My
Doctor N
goodness.
coming to look at it, Brand. Exactly. There you go. And
That was
Corey,
a-
appreciate it,
that
mate,
was
with
actually good,
some
wasn't it?
Australian dollars. Warren funding our NUFC Joe system. Yeah, there you go. Appreciate it, Warren, as well, and Corey. Corey, who will be having the breakfast show on NUFC Talk, by the way. It's pretty much done and dusted. We talk over the contracts, but it's just. It is what it is. No, I'm just playing, man. But he will be doing the breakfast show though. So him and Semi from Australia early in the morning with NUFC Talk. So grab your coffee, grab whatever you need to wake up with Corey and Semi, and they'll be talking Toon for a while. Really early in the morning, baby. Win can't wake up early in the morning. He's knackered. So there you go.
Not
but
my
we'll
time
watch
of day. I'm a night owl.
We'll definitely replay. Iris is who released Bogey. Well, no, but we had to pick. There's only one cell, man. There's only one cell. Well, I'll try to sort it because you're right. Nobody bailed. No. But somebody put you in jail though. And don't take yourself out. Don't take yourself out. Let me sort it. I got this.
Well, he's got the right shirt, hasn't he, for jail?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I do agree that. Let me go. And we're gonna get this sorted. There you go. Now both in there.
I'm not used to being next to you, Chris. This is weird.
I know. That's right. You're gonna give me a rash, man. But I mean, the Premier League is going to be hopefully our form. Hopefully the players wake up and replicate what we did against Benfica. Again, though, we can't be blinded by the fact that Harvey Barnes comes on the pitch and he finishes the game. If Harvey Barnes doesn't play, then nothing happens. So it's something to think about.
But it's interesting he played on the right, didn't he?
He did play on the right. So is that something that we need to come in? Because I think the link-up play with Voltemada is going to be incredible.
Crucially.
Murphy's. Can you drop Murphy? I mean, I thought he played well.
I just don't think. I don't think.
DXK, I was thinking this the other day. I don't know what your thoughts are, but in years gone past, you've kind of swapped wingers at times. So you've swapped them across. So Gordon will go to the right and Murphy will go to the left. Say, we don't seem to do that anymore. I don't know if there's a reason.
We did that.
They don't do it that much.
A few times last season. Yeah, we did. Last season, quite a few times, we started Gordon on the left and Barnes on the right. And midway through the game, they would swap over and it would only ever last for 10, 15 minutes. And then they would go. You can argue 10, 15 minutes is not enough, but the reason they swapped back was because it wasn't.
But it sometimes confuses people. I think Barnes and Gordon are a bad example because they're not dissimilar players. But I think if you've got Murphy on the left and Gordon on the right, it sort of would play with players' minds because they are different types of players.
They're all right-footed, aren't they? All our wingers, which is
that's a problem.
And I don't know about Alanga. Yeah, I hope he does settle in and develop.
Oh yeah, I wanted to pick on that, but sorry, finish your point, mate.
No, I was just going to say I'm going to give him time because he's only just joined the club, so it's a bit hard to write the guy off. But I agree.
You know what?
I'm a bit concerned that he's bereft of confidence. He doesn't take anyone on. He's so quick, but he sort of stops and he doesn't start again. He had that one little thing against Union, but I think that's a different level of football. But in the Premier League, when we're playing the top teams, he's not really shown up yet. And I don't know if that might be one that might not work out. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just got a feeling he might be a bit of a bust. That might be the one signing from the summer.
On the criticism with Elanga, I think that I think Boki was a bit critical earlier on about we shouldn't have signed him. We should have just bought maybe established players. I think Jefferson said the same thing, and No, even Man United. Man United are trying to go for Anderson. Anderson is the same team in the Forest that was with Forest with Langa, because they see something that he's doing right. We saw something that we're doing that he was doing right last season, contributing to Chris Wood. I don't have an issue with Elanga, the signing. We paid a certain amount of money for a guy we think, because we're supposed to be a step-up club to Forest, Champions League. We're a much better club in a much better situation, an upgrade for a player. And we are buying players in lower teams that other teams would be interested. Madueke came from Chelsea to Arsenal. He didn't have as good a season as Elanga did. So I mean, you can question the performances, to say the least. That's right. But I don't think you can question, or there's much to question the signing, because.
Well, I think we were out of options, weren't we? And Burma had gone, and a few other players had gone. So we basically had one. It was Elanga or bust at that point. We weren't going to get Eze, so it was, it wasn't going to happen. So, and who's the Elise? He's the one I would have liked, but
but he left.
Yeah, Menu is the one for me that got away.
You give us a get out there, Chris, but I didn't disagree with the signing of Elanga either. I was for that one. If Ramsey had an issue with,
Ramsey,
I would have quite happily go for. And I think he will. I think he will come good. I
hope so.
He needs a little bit. He's probably one of the players that needs a little bit of time to settle in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. But there is pressure, of course, in New. That's why Newcastle is a team that has, whether win likes it or not, expectations and standards. Fans do want to see them perform. You buy a Premier League player that performs in the team last season, you expect them to perform this season. So the expectations are there, but the good thing about Eddie Howe, that he did this past game yesterday, that he wasn't scared. He made changes at before kickoff, which is for the starting lineup, which is great. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he does the same thing on the weekend, and decide. He might. Do you think he'll keep the same?
What did you think, by the way, because we didn't get your lot? If you were picking the midfield, let's assume everybody's fit.
Yeah.
What midfield do you start with on Saturday?
I would start with Tonali.
No doubt about it.
Tonali.
You see how he says Tonali first, and everybody else comes second.
Joe Linton and Miley. I think something like that, because I think
Joe Linton and
no,
Miley. Wow.
No Bruno.
I just think Bruno ran himself into the ground. I think he played so well, and he looked exhausted at the end. I think he'll be running on fumes by the Tottenham game if we push him again. I think but then it's a tough one because he's so instrumental to the team as well, like Tonali is. But I think you're going to have to rest them at times. And I'm tossing up between Ramsey and Joe Linton, because I think Ramsey's more mobile, but Joe Linton's more of a ball winner. So I'm trying to rotate them, bring Ramsey back for Tottenham, something like that.
We got a quick question, Chris. Sorry, Chris. Just sorry to interrupt you, mate. Just a quick one. Do you think the team we played last night should have been the team that we played at the weekend, and then the team that we played the weekend should have been the team that we played last night, to give the players a couple of players who were wearing international duty a little bit of rest before putting them in the team?
We would never know, but it's a good point. It's a good point to bring. Some people have been talking about the Bruno and Joe Linton trip. I don't want to go to either. Because
I thought actually Tonali and Joe Linton looked really leggy in the Brighton game.
Yeah.
They were the two I think should have been put on the bench really for that match. So yeah, I wouldn't have minded that. I think Miley's shown he can fill in and he can do a job there now.
Yeah. Well, we got to finish off, but one question.
I would start with Tonali, Bruno, and Miley on Saturday.
I don't think that's going to work because Miley can't do what you would expect Ramsey do, or even Willock on his good day, or you can't really do it. But that's my opinion. But a question here before we go from why does Premier League proven make sense? Not one player that is supposedly proven has been able to hit the ground running. I agree with that. I never understand that.
Not saying bad signing, but just I want to see a bit more from him. That's all.
Yeah, you pay a lot more for these guys, though. That's the thing, usually, by the way, because I mean, and Barella over there in Italy, you were going to pay about 50-ish for him as well. You know, was it Barella the one that we were looking at a midfielder before we got Ramsey, or another midfielder? I think because they were trying to know what the Ramsey situation was.
Was it Edison?
No, it's a midfield. No, well, that was
Edison. No, definitely have.
the one from Inter Milan. Barella. I think it's Barella.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm talking the Inter Milan guy. So, Prem, prove it or not, I don't think we should even be looking into that. I think that category is the biggest scam in English football, organized by Mighty Win. I think that's the biggest lie, horse crap in the history of civilization.
Look at the Champions League.
Proper footballer, yeah. Look at the Champions League. Literally, look at it and look at it well. You know, proper footballers play anywhere. Bring him on, play anywhere, man. Malik Chiao, boom, bing, bing, bing. He can't get out this team now. You know, just one. That's one. Just one right there off the list. Warren Denny, thank you very much for the super chat. It's all going to the NUFC TV annual trip. Gal, there you go. In the last one there, it says just a quick one. Bokies.
Shut up, playing Boogie.
Ain't nobody.
I'll answer Warren on this one. Warren, is that a rocket in your pocket, or are you just glad to see us?
You're not playing.
There we go. Hey, there you go. Whatever floats your boat, mate. Whatever floats your boat. Let me tell you something. Thank you very much, all of you, for supporting the channel. Thank you, NOI, and everybody else. Big thank you to Warren Denning for super chatting, of course, supporting the channel. Iris Assassin, Sheila as well as Tony T, Mercury Dime, I believe as well. Andrea Barnwick, Jordy Dan, Corey D. Thank you very much, mate. And I don't want to forget anybody. Please, thank you all of you for donating and supporting the channel. We will see you all tomorrow on the nighttime show.
Assassin, did you mention Irish Assassin?
Yeah, Irish Assassin. Yep, and a lot. So thank you very much. We'll be back again on the nighttime show.
Warren, thank you again.
8 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll see you in the next one.